Is that your real last name or is that your radio name? Beautiful.
And West Virginia. Drinking moonshine up in the Appalachian Mountains.
Have you seen this Philly sports Trump guy? He's hilarious. So this was like last week, a couple of weeks ago. ICE conducted raids this morning and detained over 600 Philly Delco area Cowboys fans. They will be deported within hours. A huge victory for the people of Philadelphia. He does. And I think this guy has multiple accounts in different cities. You know, Baltimore.
Baltimore Sports Channel. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Because they'll get a ton of. The best new follow is the Qassam Soleimani one. Did you see that?
No,
There's a fake one. Yo,
oh, it's got to be fake.
We're live. All right. All right, here we go. Testing 1 2 1 2.
It's got to be fake. Got to be fake. Testing 1 2 1 2. I can
but
barely
he carries
hear.
A big stick, though.
I can barely hear Hunter.
Hunter, can you pull the station out for a minute while we're doing audio checks?
Hello, testing 1 2.
I think Hunter just insulted me, but I couldn't.
Hunter, are you there?
No, he said you need to turn him.
No.
There we go. There we go.
It's still there, but that's okay. I just want to get clean audio. So, okay, all right, let's start with Luigi. Luigi.
Check. Hello. 1 2 3 ABC.
Let's turn his mic up a bit.
Up.
A good amount.
No, Luigi gets loud though.
I know he does. I know he does.
I talk like you're on the show, Luigi.
You are looking live.
That's not the way you talk.
That is the way I talk right now. I'm a little hoarse right now. What do you want me to do?
He is hoarse. I can't say that.
Not Horse Muleman, of course.
No, not Horse Muleman.
Horse Muleman.
Hunter, yes, no.
Yeah, it seems
I'm
like
hoarse
everyone's on the
as
same
well.
page. It just changes a little bit once we're on right now.
I'm more of a stallion today.
The same.
Brought to you by the Wound
Ushab.
Clinic of South
Ushab.
Jersey. Expert care with a compassionate
Please, French to the
touch.
table.
And
We got
Jersey
2 minutes. I'll
Medical
be back in about 20 seconds.
I just saw a bad omen. Bad omen.
What?
I just saw Drew Brees doing the Dak Prescott crap.
Nah, Drew Brees is doing that way before
Everybody
anybody.
does that.
It's a normal warm-up.
Yeah.
It's a normal
People
warm-up.
overreacted to that.
I know, but
Quarterbacks always-
why did they always show it when he did it?
Because it's the only time I've ever shown it.
Yeah.
And it was a silhouette of him by himself just warming up. That's it.
I understand that, but my point is when Dak did it, they had the camera on him for like 20 minutes.
Because he was all by himself. And that one
I
camera
once
guy had nothing else to
tweeted
do.
Carson doing crazy crap with a bar.
Yeah.
People went nuts.
Break from the action?
What is
Make
he
it a
doing?
Redbox night. With Redbox, you can rent the
I remember when
newest
Bill
movies fresh from the
Conlon
theater,
used
starting
to
at
rip
under
Steve
$2
Carlton
a night.
in the
That's
70s
right. You
for
can see
his
the action and
for doing his
suspense you
hand
love
in a
about
big
sports.
vat of
Plus,
Bryce.
Oh, his right.
family
That was
filter.
Gus
Hey,
Heffling. You remember
Yeah.
Gus
That's how you
Heffling?
build your
One of the
hamstring.
41,000
Yeah, but back
Redbox
then,
kiosks
that was
nationwide.
revolutionary.
Or stream
Nobody had
instantly.
trainers.
Well,
We got 1 minute.
in Howard's defense,
even
he
know
said
that
Howard.
No, I'm talking about Bill
Subject to
Conlon.
Oh,
additional
Bill
terms.
Columnist.
You know how else you
Special
do it?
nights apply.
Put your hand in horse piss.
Well, I don't have that available. I got cat piss.
Actually, I really don't know.
Any
that.
podcast.
You're hoarse. Can you give me?
Exactly right.
Put
I
that
just
in.
let some out.
Yes, sir.
I kind of saw your email. Do we have Steve today or we don't?
We do. I just sent you his number. Same number, yeah.
So give me the breakdown on segments now, because I printed the thing, but I left it at home.
The Johnny Doc is 133.
All right, 133.
Steve
Billy.
Merle is 150 to the end. Godfather's 235. Don't know whether or not we have Gil or not in the second hour.
Godfather's 230.
Once I get you on the air and see if he's cool to come on.
If he doesn't want to come on, tell him to fucking pound sand. I'm sick of him. He's
Well,
blowing
he's
us
close to
off
the
for
shore.
3
He can
weeks.
get a lot of sand
Yeah.
and pound it today.
Who are we talking about? Gil?
Slow clap on that one for Krause. Tell him to go pound sand.
Is he back from vacation already, or is he still
Well,
in
you gotta-
holiday
No,
mode?
he's back.
You got to track him down at his latest vacation locale.
Pro Sports, what's it called? ProSportsInfo.com, right, Steve? Merrill?
ProSportsInfo.
.com.
Yeah.
With Mr. Philadelphia, Tony Bruno.
All right, listen to the crowd. Yeah, they've been waiting to see this.
Live on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app.
Give goes to Peterson. He is stacked up for a loss.
From Tolman Joe's, 26 East Oregon Avenue in the heart of South Philly. Presented by IBEW Local 98. Powered by Martin Law and fueled by the Philadelphia Federal Credit Union.
He is hit. He stumbles. He's down. And the Eagles take over.
Now, it's Eagles game day and time for the Countdown to Kickoff show with Tony Bruno.
You are live.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are looking live at a breezy, cold, I mean, it really blows out there today, ladies and gentlemen. I can say that on the radio because it's true. It's a windy, cold, but sunny January 5th, and we are talking football. Live here at Tollman Joe's. You don't want to stand in a parking lot and freeze your butt off for a few hours. Come on in here. You don't have to pay $50 to park. You don't have to pay $30 for a pizza. You come in, you sit down, you enjoy the pregame festivities, and then if you're going to the game, then you go over and you get in your seats. Why stand around for hours when you could be in? First of all, the $50 parking alone is the reason to be here. You pay $50 to park. The mayor of New York is now criticizing the city for charging $50 to park, like he criticized Domino's Pizza for bringing out pizzas in Times Square.
It is a scandal. It should be
a
scandal in every city. What they charge for parking here at Tollman Joe's,
free
absolutely
to park.
Free.
Absolutely. That is John McMullen. I'm Tony Bruno. Luigi Curto's here. Joe Krause's here. He's got a very bizarre Kangol hat on today, the one I haven't seen before.
He had that on last week.
No, he didn't.
It's very colorful.
Or 2 weeks ago.
Very colorful.
Luigi's mic needs to be turned up.
I've seen it before, though.
Turn up for what? But nobody has more Kangol hats than Joe Krause. He's here. Nick is here. Miss Robin's here. The whole gang is here. So we'll get you up to kickoff. We'll get you actually to Merrill Reese and the gang down at Lincoln Financial Field for today's playoff game. And while people are saying, wow, they forget, John McMullen, that this is the third consecutive year that the Eagles are in the playoffs. And you know how many other teams have been in the playoffs 3 consecutive years that were playing this wild card weekend?
Patriots, Chiefs, Saints.
That's
Turn
it.
John's mic up as well.
That's it. Only 3 other teams. And by the way, one of them is already gone.
Yeah,
the
one
New
of them
England
is
Patriots.
gone. Mm-hmm.
So for all these people like, oh my God, the Eagles, blah, 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 blah. They've been in the playoffs 3 straight years. And Carson Wentz will be starting his first playoff game. But John, I think we can all agree, whether you could talk about the opponents, it's like what the narratives are in the political world of commentary. Carson Wentz won his last 4 must-win games, but
anytime you put but.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I've actually asked Doug Peterson this, and we've gone back and forth in press conference. I call them playoff-like games. The difference is, and Doug is trying to spin it as playoff-type games because it's win or get in, essentially for a month for the Eagles. Yeah. However, the difference is...
Are you doing a but instead of a however?
I'm doing a however.
Or are you playing chopsticks on the table right now?
I'm doing chopsticks. I'm doing everything.
I don't know what the hell you're doing with your hands.
I'm trying to make a point if you guys let me get to it. And I'll do it with the chopsticks if you like. But, however, there it is.
What do you mean, you guys?
You guys.
What do you mean, use guys?
You're both interrupting. You're both continuing.
All right, get to the point, John. I'm sorry.
All right, here's the point. You're not playing playoff-level foes. Now you're in the playoffs. You're playing good teams.
Yes.
That's the difference.
Yes.
So there's been, and I've said this consistently, I don't know what the Eagles are at this point. I don't know if it's fool's gold. I don't know if it's real because it has been the New York Giants, the Washington Redskins, the Dallas Cowboys with a quarterback taking 2 pain injections, and the New York Giants again. Those were not playoff-level teams. Now you get to the playoffs, that's the difference.
You mean
not only is it winner, you're out, but you're also playing good teams from this point forward.
I hear you, but the other thing is, the bottom line is Carson Wentz still a guy who was criticized all year despite when you look at his final numbers.
I didn't criticize.
No, but I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the fact is you would have thought that Carson Wentz had the worst season in NFL history based on what's going on. So I don't like the whataboutism, but whataboutism is important here. It doesn't matter who they beat. They had to beat those teams. And while Dak Prescott,
I agree with that.
And while Dak Prescott had a bad shoulder, the next week he goes home and puts up 48 with his team against the Washington Redskins. So we can make excuses. We can give reasons. I call them reasons rather than excuses. To me,
Yeah,
the
it's
bottom
not
line.
excuses, it's explanations.
Exactly.
I always say.
And so now, all of a sudden,
It's not the Eagles' fault who the schedule was.
Exactly.
They
And now,
took
all of a
advantage of the
sudden,
soft part of their schedule.
the
They
Seattle
should've.
Seahawks come in here banged up. Oh, now last night I get home from a wedding, which was, by the way, a phenomenal Italian wedding.
Mazel tov, man.
The Pennsport string band was there. When you bring in a string band to a wedding,
In Pine Hill, New Jersey.
yes, they go to
you ain't
Pine Hill,
getting more Italian than
Pennsport,
that.
from right down here in Pennsport.
Yes.
Literally in the same neighborhood.
Did you stuff the envelope?
Absolutely.
Oh, you got it.
You got to do it. But anyway,
With what?
I digress.
Yeah,
So
with what is the other question?
what's the question?
With what?
What was I
Galamad.
saying? Galamad for the table. They had everything there.
You know, the saying is, when Italians go to weddings, they don't bring gifts; they bring cash.
Yes,
they
they
bring
do.
cash.
Yeah,
We
there's no
I
boxes.
saw
like,
The Godfather. I saw Goodfellas.
Was that in The Godfather?
Goodfellas.
Listen, this is a real Italians, all right? This isn't some made-up movie with a bunch of guys pretending
What,
to be
finishing
Italian.
concrete right out front, too?
Exactly. Anyway, let's get it back to the Eagles, as we like to say on the show. Bottom line is, Seattle, as good as they have been, when they beat the Eagles here on November 24th, they had one huge play when Rashad Penny broke a 58-yard touchdown, and they turned the ball
Well, they
over.
had two. They also had the flea flicker. So it
Well,
was.
yeah,
They
but-
did not play well.
But I'm saying down the stretch when it was still a game, when the Eagles were still in it, despite Carson Wentz fumbling the ball 3 times and throwing 2 interceptions, that was still a winnable game. But remember, when that game happened, Seattle came in here red hot, 5 in a row, riding high, and that was the era when Carson Wentz didn't have anybody hanging onto the ball. He was inaccurate. He was completely flummoxed with this offense, trying to get some rhythm with backup guys who were just starting to be called up. Now, fast forward, and now you got a Seattle team that is 11-5, but they went from 10-2 to 11-5 because they lost 3 of their final 4 games. And so
and all their running backs. So now, is there does Mo matter? Not Modell's, of course, where you can go get your Eagle stuff. Are they still in business, by the way?
Modell's, yeah, Modell's is still hanging around.
Is there momentum going into the playoffs for a team at home, John, as you say all the time, that plays great defense at home and plays better at home than they do on the road?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about it. How you play going into the playoffs means a ton and means a lot to each team. And we always look at it and say, if you get to the playoffs, you want to get there playing your best football. I don't think there's any question the Eagles are getting there playing their best football. The Seattle is not. And Pete Carroll brought this up on his conference call with us this week, and the fact that the Eagles have been going through this sort of metamorphosis with the young players, the practice squad players that we all talk about, and the Boston Scotts of the world, the Greg Wards, Josh Perkins, on and on and on, Deontay Burnett, so many players. They've had that number of weeks to integrate these guys, whereas the Seahawks are trying to get past losing Chris Carson and get past losing Rashad Penny, and they haven't had that time.
And
so
CJ
they're kind of
Procise.
going in blind, CJ Procise as well, trying to go in blind with Travis Homer and getting Marshawn Lynch off the couch, getting Robert Turbin off the couch. They haven't had that time to adjust. So they're kind of going in blind, and they have to trust these players. Either they do it or they don't.
I got breaking news in that game, the first game, of course, today. The third game of the wild card weekend is underway, and we already have a developing situation. Kirk Cousins throws a dump-off pass to Adam Thielen, who
Of
then
all
gets
people.
he gets stripped, and the Saints recover the ball, but did not score a touchdown because the player Bell went out of bounds. So he got 1 foot out. It looked like a touchdown. Right here, you'll see it, number 24. Well, you're not seeing it because you're listening to us on 97.
I think it was inside the 10. I don't think either way, but he's
No,
it's
but they're
gonna
setting
move
him
back.
up, setting up the Saints very, very
Sits it.
easily.
And
so-
Luigi has got the Saints on the money line, so he's happy.
Well,
Heavy implications
Mr.
here.
Thursday Night, a austere, revered, non-religious sports expert, Tony Bruno, coming into today, 2-0, has the Saints minus 7.5, and so we are all very, very motivated today to watch this game closely. But Adam Thielen, of
That's
all people,
terrible.
at
Of
the-
all people.
Yeah, it's horrible.
at his own 40, actually down to the 36-yard lines, gets stripped, and that's the 11th turnover fumble recovery by the New Orleans Saints defense this year.
And that's just the second game back from injury, too. From
Yep.
he had almost.
Yeah, he missed a lot of time with a hamstring, and he hasn't been himself since he's been back. And then that's a situation right before that. Dalvin Cook had I think a nice 9-yard run. They were moving the football early, and you don't expect your best players to put the football on the ground. That wasn't exactly a great play by the defender.
No,
I mean, Adam Thielen's got to secure that football.
And Minnesota was getting ready to take all the momentum out of that building right there early on as well.
Oh, absolutely.
And the Saints just sucked it right back.
And this is a big play because the Vikings have the pressure. Mike Zimmer supposedly is under pressure in Minnesota. Obviously the whole is the quarterback going to win a big game. And so the pressure's all on the Vikings here. And they're going into probably the toughest place to play right now of all the teams, with a team that can just score.
Yeah, and I think that's it.
Bucket loads.
Their goal, and I don't know if they won the toss or not. They got the football first. I wasn't paying attention to the coin toss. But their
didn't
goal,
bet on it?
Their goal was to get the lead. The last thing they wanted to do was play from behind against the Saints. And now that's going to happen. This is the one game of the weekend where I kind of said it's probably going to be a blowout in the Saints' favor. Trending early in that direction.
2 minutes.
Eagles-Seahawks. Games yesterday, tremendously close, and I expect the Eagles-Seahawks to be close.
And we'll continue with that, but the bottom line in this Saints-Minnesota, they haven't scored. Now, if the Vikings come up with a big defensive play and keep them off the board.
Don't you put that on me, all right, Tony?
No, listen, I'm looking at it because we're saying they're behind. They're not. They have to score
they're
football.
good, yeah.
And they'll give it to Alvin Kamara and all you people. Is there fantasy?
And by the way,
yes, there is.
By the way, the Vikings did win the toss and took the football because that's what they were trying to do.
Get that early momentum.
Get that early
exactly.
lead.
And now they may be now if their defense can come up with a big play here, because listen, it's not automatic. I mean, the Saints are damn good. They can score from any place on the field.
The Saints are like the Eagles in the sense that they were completely banged up for a long time, and now they are completely healthy. Remember, Drew Brees out for several weeks. Kamara was banged up on the shelf. They had a lot of injuries themselves, Tony. I heard a thing earlier in the day where they said, the Saints have overcome more injuries than anybody else. I said, well, that's crazy. I said that's crazy because the Eagles have. But
the best part for fantasy players is that all of these cretins who play fantasy were mad that Alvin Kamara had on how dare he be hurt. And so then when he started playing again and scoring touchdowns, what did we hear? Oh, it's about time. Where were you for me
as
all
an
year?
Alvin Kamara owner, it wasn't entirely like that.
Yes, it was.
It wasn't entirely.
Well, look at Cody Ford. Cody Ford got death threats yesterday because a bad call was placed on him.
And by the way,
I'll give you my point to this Eagles-Seahawks game when we come back after the break.
And by the way, my favorite new player in the postseason who's still alive, the guy from Harvard, Fersker.
Right, he made a big play.
Two big plays. Fersker, I didn't even kiss her.
Backup tight end.
Ryan Tannehill, I think, had 8 completions in that game.
Yes.
And then bang to Ferster, of all people.
Ferkster.
You know what they say, Tony? Going to the guy from Harvard is very smart.
Hey, another Harvard guy proving that Ivy League players are not just smart. Some of them can play football at the NHL level, NFL level as well.
Yeah, like 3 of them.
like three of them. We're coming back. We're just getting started. We got a full slate getting you ready for this game live at Toll Man Joe's. We got the great Philly Godfather coming up next hour. We got Johnny Doc, Philly's biggest fan. Maybe Mike Gill.
Maybe.
And maybe now that it's a new year, he has finally retreated from the beaches to maybe chime in today and give us his takes on this.
And the shore, too.
And the Jersey Shore. We're live at Toll Man Joe's. Come on by, free to park, great food, crowd starting to build for the Eagles playoff opener this afternoon. At what, 425-ish?
445-ish.
405-ish?
440.
440.
Get there when you can. Just get there when you can.
Exactly. Get here because you got a lot of time. And have some fun with us live at Toll Man Joe's on 97.3 ESPN and everybody watching on twitch.tv. Tony Bruno Show. Stick around.
Hour number 1 of the Eagles Game Day Countdown to Kickoff show is fueled by Dunkin'. After the Eagles win, you win.
All right, so I've been manually putting up Luigi's mic for him. Can we turn Luigi's mic up more?
Later today,
I've been doing it manually, so it's been good.
Russell Wilson and the 5th-seeded Seahawks at the lake.
Yeah, the level sounded a little bit off to me.
Yeah,
I don't know what you think.
They're off.
Luigi's a little bit down, I think.
Luigi's down.
Yeah, Luigi's down. John was a little bit hot, right?
At times, but he normally speaks so soft. That
I
it's
know.
hard
I was surprised because
trying to
it's
find
over.
a happy medium for him, but I've been adjusting as much as I could.
Okay, so
Okay.
can we get the audio level set so we don't have to keep adjusting
Turn the
them?
music down, then, please.
Tony
The actual-
Bruno's home.
Yeah, so we need Luigi up
Luigi,
a
will
good
you put
amount,
your headset
Marty
on, please,
jumping
John?
down
Put your
just a
headset on.
tad, and
What
then
are you worried about messing up your hair?
No, I was talking to John for a second. Get his headset on.
I want to get the audio level set so we're not having issues every segment.
Hey,
Testing. Hello,
Looking
check.
to score a BMW that fits your lifestyle and budget? Get to
Yeah, I'm listening. It
BMW
sounds
of Atlantic
good.
City.
Okay.
Tackle hard-hitting
But the thing is,
savings
we
on
do
their
it here, and then we
entire
get on the
starting
air,
lineup
and
of
it's
your
almost
favorite
completely
certified
different.
pre-owned BMWs.
It shouldn't be,
Like
though.
the
It shouldn't be.
3
It should
and
once
5
we're
I know, I'm
locked
just
in.
based off of like your vocals on how
The
loud
house
it
is really
That's
loud.
all.
just off the Parkway, next
House
to the
is
Home
really
Depot
loud.
in Egg Harbor Township, and online
house
at
is really loud.
Yeah, because Nick
BMWAtlanticCity.com.
cranks the music
For a
up during the
dealership
break.
experience
No,
to
when
remember.
we're
Get to
talking-
when we're talking, is
BMW
it loud?
Closer than you think.
Who's
Find
on-
exceptional offers
what
to
are you doing
BMW
on
Financial
four?
Services.
Credit Karma can help you make financial progress by giving
By the way,
you
we're
free
coming
scores,
back with
reports,
some
and
Eagles
monitoring.
chants from the stadium with the
Karma
Saints
is
fans
about
going
giving
crazy.
the love that
Go.
only
The
a
lot,
mother
you mean
can.
from
It's just
today?
an app.
No, this is from
But you can use Credit Karma to
2015.
help
It's
you
just
improve
people
Okay.
going crazy
All
at the
right.
link.
Look, see?
But it cannot
That's
solve
Everybody's
the
married.
eternal
It's Latavius
questions
married.
surrounding the
My
human
point
condition.
is,
First down.
everybody, yeah, but everybody, they got a first down with a defensive
no credit
holding
card
call.
needed. Just download the Credit Karma
Earlier.
app now. Credit Karma. Here's to progress.
No, I know that. My point is that we should they score? Are they going to score? Probably. But to say that
Well, if they held no field goal.
But even taking 3 points off them when they like to receive the ball, it's huge.
no,
Yeah.
you got to get a touchdown here.
Oh, you
to
got to
bury
touch it.
him.
This is huge.
Michael
Thomas in the corner.
We'll
Watch this,
get
Mike-
open.
Michael
Trust
Thomas,
me.
left side of the end zone. Watch
Yep.
this. Ready? Here we go.
Absolutely.
Trust me.
Here comes the pick. Here it comes. Ready?
Here comes the blitz.
Luigi, straighten your mic so it's a little bit more in front of your mouth
How's
rather than
that?
off this. No, it's off to the side. You need to like bring it
Hello.
forward, like bring it.
It is. I have this thing curled. Look at me.
I know it's not. It's not right.
Well, I don't know why it's not right.
I don't
doesn't
understand.
understand why it doesn't make sense.
It's literally in my mouth.
Are you? How is
It's
Luigi's audio?
It's in my mouth.
Now it sounds fine, but when he was talking in before, it was really low.
It's in my mouth.
It's not. Doesn't have to be in your mouth.
I understand that. But I'm saying is Robin telling me to straighten it out. Now you want me to move it this way.
Is that
That's
a
good.
bad? Should I swap headsets with him or what? Do we have an issue with it or not?
I don't right now when he's talking.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds fine to me. I hear myself okay.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Big third down. Wide open.
All right, Nick, get us up.
Get rid of it, Drew.
Sack.
All right, here we
Big
go, everybody.
defensive series there for the Vikings.
That just took them out of the Hall of Fame right there.
No,
Denell
it didn't
Hunter.
take him out of the Hall of Fame.
It's best you can hope for.
You are live.
Oh, yes. The thrill, the color, the pageantry, the electricity that is uniquely Eagle fans lathered up in the parking lot before not even a big game. I mean, it doesn't even matter. It could be a preseason game. You must get lathered, and you must get lathered. Update from the first game today in the NFC first wild card game. Big turnover. The Saints do not capitalize because of great defensive play. Give the Vikings credit. They had a first and goal. They have to settle for a field goal. First and goal, and they can't score. So Vikings defense comes up big, holds the Saints to a field goal on the first big play of the game. Turnover by the Vikings on their initial drive. Adam Thielen fumbles the football. Saints recover, and everybody immediately thought, oh, they're going to put up 7. But give the Vikings credit. They held them to a field goal, and now it's 3-0 Saints early in the first quarter of that game.
Yeah, and that's the Viking strength on defense. It was Denell Hunter. It was Everson Griffin on the pass rush, and they're able to hold it to a Will Lutz field goal. So it is 3-0. Best case scenario for the Vikings after the fumble. But it's still, when you take the football, when your goal, when your game plan is to seize that momentum, I still think that's a huge play, that fumble, and the fact that the Saints are ahead quickly. That's the last thing Minnesota
And Drew Brees uncharacteristically taking a sack there, too, on third down, which he never does.
Yeah, out of the Hall of Fame.
Out of the Hall. That sack right there took him out of the Hall of Fame. Took
My vote, I've just taken my vote down for him.
Yes.
Took me out of the cash and him out of the Hall of Fame.
Now, what was the first half line on this game, Luigi?
4.5.
Saints 4.5. So that really hurts now.
That hurts.
That hurts you. That not getting a touchdown. This is why we have to be angry for those who gamble and those who have fantasy implications here. Because let's be honest, it's not about who wins or loses these games. It's about whether your point spread gets covered. It's about whether the number, whether the over-under counts, whether the Saints can cover the first quarter line.
And these games where I have no fandom whatsoever invested, absolutely, that's all that matters. Think I'm watching because I like it? No, I care less.
Eagles fans should have something invested.
Wait, you think I want to sit around watching a sport where they do nothing but throw flags every 15 seconds if I don't have any money involved? No, I don't.
You watch the NBA, don't you?
They don't throw flags, they blow whistles. It's a different story. I like the sound of the whistle.
I don't disagree with you. My only point is if the Eagles are able to beat Seattle, starting at 4:40 kickoff.
Which they will.
Right here on 97.3 ESPN.
Exactly right. With Merrill and Mike,
if they're able to win that game, this is a big game for them. If Minnesota finds a way to beat New Orleans, the Eagles would go to Green Bay versus San Francisco. So where would you rather go? I'd rather go to Green Bay.
I would have rather had San Francisco here, to be honest with you, today.
Well,
that's me.
I guess everybody's different. I think San Francisco is the most talented team in the NFC.
It's a nice city, too. I've been there recently. It's fantastic. I wouldn't mind going.
Well, you weren't there back when it was clean and you could walk around without stepping in poop and needles.
I didn't see it all. I didn't see all the feces. Maybe they cleaned up because I was showing up. Who knows?
No, they don't do that for you. They don't do that for anybody. But I love San Francisco, by the way. My second favorite city in America.
Tremendous, if you can avoid the needles, which is a big if.
Well, that's the same as here.
They don't just they don't put the needles on the record there. They put them in the streets, unfortunately. But enough about that. Let's get it back to the Eagles. So I got some stats because I have copious notes here, as you can tell.
I have copious notes.
Yeah, you have You have the entire. You have your phone. But here's the bottom line.
Some water.
And we're going to get the inactives. There's John. You're here. You're there every day. Lane Johnson is not going to go today, right? Is there any
he's
doubt?
not. Little bit of a surprise from early in the week. I thought, when you looked at Lane Johnson versus Zach Ertz, I thought, well, Lane's got a chance to play. Zach probably is not going to be able to play with the lacerated kidney. By about Thursday, that started to shift from what the Eagles were telling us. And they were really optimistic that Zach Ertz would be able to go, and that's the case. He got cleared, which is a big surprise. I talked to 3 different doctors. They said, if you have a lacerated kidney, you're out. You're not getting cleared.
Right.
So maybe that original report was a little erroneous. Maybe it wasn't a lacerated kidney.
It could be a bruised kidney and you're
Could
okay.
be
But if
bruise,
there's a cut in it, there's a fissure, so to speak.
Yes. Then technically, usually, and history has said this, whether it's Andrew Luck, Hunter Henry, there's about 5-6 players that have had a lacerated kidney. They don't come back in 2 weeks.
No.
So that's a very big surprise.
I don't know, man. Band-Aids have made a huge stride the last couple of years.
Well, and laceration, that's the terminology, but it's not really a cut, as Tony pointed out. It's more of a fissure. It's more of a
And
bursting.
I know my fissures. Let me tell you that right now.
Yes, you do.
Not Jeff Fisher, of course. He's not coaching this year again.
But with Lane, now Lane's a guy who played through a high ankle sprain before, missed 1 week, and now we're talking about 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. So what they told me is it's the spot it's in. It's on the inside of the ankle, which is evidently worse than the outside. So he just doesn't have his mobility. He can't move side to side well, and they say he needs 1 more week. So if the Eagles are able to get past Seattle, he's expected to play next week from their standpoint.
And so would Deshaun Jackson, presumably, right?
Well, Deshaun's
isn't that when he would be cleared to play in the second playoff game?
Deshaun is eligible to be cleared to play.
But I've been seeing the video, and you're there every day. Yeah. He's running full speed now, So
is he running full speed?
Well, not full speed, but
you don't need to run full speed when you look at the rest of the receivers.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
His full speed is 22 miles per hour, and he's at about 19:20, which is good enough to play. The issue is when you look at Jordan Howard, and the Eagles have done this in the past a couple of times. When guys have been out for a significant period of time, if Deshaun is out there, he's not playing 60 plays.
No,
he might be out there for 15, 20 plays, and that would still be a help. But I think anybody who thinks he's going to be out there, he's going to be wide receiver 1, that part of it's not going to.
He doesn't have to
be.
But
do you think having a guy like Deshaun out there who's on a snap count, basically 15, 20 snaps, do you think it's worth having him out there, knowing that every time he's out there, they're throwing the ball, because they're not going to waste him out there on running plays?
I think when your outside receivers are Rob Davis and Deontay Burnett and J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, if I can get Deshaun out there for 10 plays, I'm getting him out there for 10 plays.
Absolutely.
Anything he can give me, I want, because they're getting nothing. Their game plan today, but trust me, it's Goddard, it's Miles Sanders, and we have to see how healthy Miles is. Boston Scott, Zach Ertz is not going to be 100%.
Right.
He's going to be involved. Greg Ward, chain mover. Forget about Arcega-Whiteside. Forget about Deontay Burnett. Maybe like there was last week, maybe you have one big play, but there's not going to be consistent traffic. They just have nothing outside the numbers right now.
No, I hear you. And again, we're looking ahead to next week, but certainly they have to win this game. And we know what happened the last time. Carson Wentz was in that funk period where he was turning the ball over. He was not protecting it. He had 2 interceptions, 3 fumbles in that game, and it was still a competitive game. The Eagles sacked him 6 times. No other team was able to sack him that many times. Of course, he's been sacked, 48 times, which is tops in the NFL. And he has, obviously, offensive line problems. He's always had offensive line problems, especially this year.
Won a Super Bowl with offensive line problems.
Exactly. But the bottom line is, now Dalvin Cook is getting loose.
He needs to relax.
That's Alexander Madison.
That is Alexander Madison. That's good knowledge right there. Not Alexander Hamilton.
No.
Or Dolly Madison's brother-in-law.
No. Not Ashley Madison.
No, that's different. It's a good site, though, if you're looking to find a...
Good Madison knowledge.
I'm aware. I'm aware.
Don't you have to be married to go on to Ashley Madison as a male?
The whole thing's a lie. What are you talking about? You're under the cheat. What are you going to play by the rules?
That vetting process, they come to your house and make sure you're married.
Yeah.
By the way,
you want to see the ring here.
Even the Patriots use Ashley Madison, and look what happened to them this year.
Oh, wait a minute. The Vikings are getting tricky now. Everyone's doing some sort of a variation of this Philly special now. Everyone.
We saw it yesterday
with Josh Allen.
With Josh Allen.
And
how about the
2 minutes.
Buffalo Bills?
How
about the poor Buffalo?
I feel bad.
Poor Buffalo. They're up 16-0 on the road.
I feel bad.
If anybody was going to do it, it was going to be Buffalo. Go in there, get a 16-point lead, and then cough it up.
And
Deshaun Watson, that is a play. It's like people are killing Bill O'Brien the first half of that game.
Yep.
And then they're saying, they come back and good for Bill O'Brien. Well, if you look at the play Deshaun Watson won the game on, what does that have to do with
That's a Houdini
any
play.
No.
Carson Wentz has made some of the plays. Obviously, Deshaun Watson is phenomenal. But you look at the quarterbacks who are capable of escaping that. Yeah. Russell Wilson does that. Carson Wentz does that. Deshaun Watson does it. Obviously, Lamar Jackson can do that in Baltimore. And that's the extra thing that you have with quarterbacks who can move around like that. Yeah. And so that's a huge play. He doesn't make that play, they lose that game
Lamar Jackson gets up the field better than any quarterback I've ever seen with his legs. But Deshaun Watson gets side to side better than anyone I've ever seen.
And he spins out of stuff
the
like yesterday.
Is unreal.
There are 2 guys on a blitz that have him dead to rights, hit him, and he somehow gets out of it. And if you look at Deshaun Watson, there are certain guys, Cam Newton,
used to be able to do it.
Carson Wentz is such a big guy, he's so physical. You can understand how he gets out of contact. It's amazing what Deshaun Watson
Do you think this week they let Carson show some of that, John? Do you think they let him get out of the pocket and run around a little bit?
Yeah, they've been doing that for the last couple of weeks. They've been having those design plays to roll him out, to get him more comfortable, using more tempo. And as far as, running the football occasionally, not design runs, but he'll use his legs when he needs to.
We're using our legs, our heads, our tails, our backs, whatever we have. We're putting it all on the line today. We are we have been cleared for contact here on Countdown to Kickoff. No body part will be left unprotected today. Actually, all body parts will be left unprotected. This is a must-win. This is a must-win game. Let me be the first to say that.
It's a must-win
if they
game.
lose this game today, the season might be over.
I don't know how they can come back from this one. To be honest with you, I don't know how they can come back from this.
If they lose this game, Jason Garrett will be rehired later on today by Jerry Jones, probably. We're coming back. We're live. Philly's biggest fan, who last week we ridiculed him when he said the Eagles are going to score 30 points. Remember his prediction?
Yeah.
He was almost dead on again.
Yeah, thank
He's
God.
going to join us next. Philly's biggest fan, live here. Toll Man Joe's Countdown to Kickoff. Come on down, free to park. Great food, great people, great beverages. And I like cold beverages. Live on 97.3 ESPN and on twitch.tv. Wave to the people. Tony Bruno Show all over the world. Live from South Philadelphia.
You're listening to the Eagles Game Day Countdown to Kickoff show presented by IBEW Local 98. John Doherty, business manager.
Coming up on the next edition of the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
We're recapping all the Eagles and Seahawks action. Grayson's Grades at 2:30. Football at 4 with Johnny Mack. NFL insider Casey Joyner at 5:15. Recap Wild Card Weekend with all the Sixers and Flyers news.
I've never called you Johnny Mack.
You're the only one.
I have to apologize for that.
The Sports Bash.
When I hear Johnny Mack, I'm thinking John McEnroe. I'm not thinking John McMullen. Sorry, John.
South Jersey's sports leader.
And the five.
Over the holiday season, spend some time at the landmark Americana in the heart of Glassboro, and you'll enjoy the best seat in the house from every table in the bar. The landmark Americana, home of the Countdown to Kickoff Show at Tony Bruno, and your upcoming location for all the playoffs through the big game on Sunday. Landmark Americana, you'll always know it when you get there, and you'll always remember it when you leave.
We have yet to come to
Go to the landmark Americana in Glassboro this football season. Who knows who you'll see?
There's nothing like having the best of both worlds. And if you need quality orthopedic care, that's what you'll get from Cape Regional Health System. First, you'll get the personalized orthopedic care the Cape Region has
being poured.
No. Tony the Tiger Bowl?
The Tony the Tiger Frosted Flakes Bowl. You saw it, right? You saw who got the Frosted Flakes bath, right?
Yeah. What is it? It was the Tony the Tiger something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty. It's Kellogg's sponsor.
I'm still waiting for my damn baseball. It's been 23 years.
Former Eagle great, former Jets coach.
Herm Edwards.
Herm Edwards got the frosted without any, so it wasn't liquid. It was just Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
Johnny
and then the
Doc's
other
there.
one.
We should be coming out with the string band.
What was the other one? What was the other one that got dumped on somebody that was a sponsorship deal but wasn't liquid?
Tostitos? No, they haven't played that yet.
Research by Silk Road shows Indeed delivers 3 times more hires than any other job site. Post your next job at Indeed.com/hire and try
Is
skills
Luigi
test
on the
for free.
wireless, Mike?
No, he's got the headsets, but he takes them off every break.
Gotcha, okay. Yeah, it's like
I'm the only one who
sometimes
keeps
it's
them
loud
on.
with you guys, and sometimes it gets lower on them. So I'm like
I don't take mine off.
it when
No.
you talk.
Enforcement agents are cracking down this year and can garnish your paycheck, levy your bank accounts. Even your home or business could be at risk over unpaid taxes. It's all true, but it's also true there's a way out. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative, an important government program for tax debt assistance. The award-winning experts at Optima Tax Relief will fight to get you the best deal possible. Protecting your
They want to take a picture with you, Tone, but I said we're getting ready to come back from break, so after the break, come back.
Put them up there when the show's on. I don't care about that. We're
All right.
good with that.
Want me to bring them back up?
This isn't WIP.
Now let him have a couple cocktails. Relax.
Relax. Take it easy. Take it easy.
You're going to have a heart attack over here.
Now, Joe loves action on the stage.
I want to be unique. I want to be out. I want to be unique.
If you
I
ran
be
cheerleaders,
different.
he'd have all the town up there at one time.
Absolutely.
Everybody up on the damn stage.
And then I would tell them to tighten up.
That's a tighten up. Tighten up.
Hold and tighten up.
Tighten up.
Presented by Martin Law, the law firm for injured workers.
Yeah, we did.
You are live.
Yes, live at Toll Man Joe's, the sound of string bands. The Pennsport String Band last night over in Jersey representing at this great wedding at the Trump National, International, whatever they call it over there in Pine Hill.
Trump National Golf
Trump
Course.
National Golf Course. Philadelphia. It's called Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yes, it is. But a lot of great.
It's like when Harris Chester was called Harris Philadelphia.
Exactly.
Okay.
Meanwhile, let's go to a man who every single week comes on here. And then P makes his prediction. And then people say, you crazy, man? They're not going to score 30 points. And when that game started last week, it looked like there wouldn't be 30, wouldn't be scored total in the game. And then the second half.
I didn't think.
And he almost nailed it once again with another incredible, head-shaking prediction because he knows the city, he knows this team. He's Philly's biggest fan, and he joins us. Johnny Doc right now. What's going on, brother?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man.
Pictures at the wedding, Tony. I just want to let you know.
What was? Oh, you have pictures? Did you see the pictures?
I saw the pictures. You look great.
Well, I didn't look good. The Pennsport String Band, those guys were representing. I don't know, the guy with the beard who looks a little bit like, not John DeBella. Who's the other guy at MMR? The legendary DJ. He's got the gray beard. Pierre Robert. He looks a little like Pierre Robert.
Pierre took a picture with me a couple years ago.
Yeah.
It was an honor for him to meet me.
Well, John, you know all those guys at the Pennsport String Band. They're right here in the neighborhood.
Know them all. Just got done writing a letter I'm going to send the city council this week about the parade.
John, I want to be the first person to thank you because last week when you predicted the Eagles put up 31 points, you predicted that 2-touchdown victory, that rocking chair ride. The second you said it, I said it and forget it and place 500 smackaroos right here live on the air on the Eagles.
Where's Johnny's take on it? Where's his cut?
Well, I got to wait to see what happens with the rest of the action this weekend. Because, as John knows, you got to push. You know what I mean? But I want to say thank you out there because it was your confidence which willed me to hit the submit button.
Yeah, John's not just a home. Now, Johnny Mack, well, I've never called Johnny Mack, but everybody else does. When I say Johnny Mack, I'm thinking of John McEnroe. He's not as angry as John McEnroe is, though.
No. Occasionally.
Yeah. All right, Johnny Doc. All right, John, playoffs here. We've seen this 3 years in a row. It's not like, oh, my God, the Eagles haven't been in the playoffs since the 70s. This is 3 straight years in the playoffs.
The new normal.
It is the new
Some
normal.
might say.
So now, all of a sudden, everybody's talking about Seattle. Russell Wilson, we know, is phenomenal, and he's a magician out there. How are you feeling about this game today, John?
I'm feeling really good. He is phenomenal. I'm a gigantic Russell Wilson fan. I say that all the time. I just think that Wentz is going to be able to go pass for pass, run for run with him, and I think we win again. I just think that we're on our way to the West Coast to play, and I think that it's, I actually thought Minnesota would give the Saints a game today. I wasn't going to just guarantee the Saints the win there, and I like the Titans last night. I like the Bills, so I'm feeling good about the weekend. I think we win pretty well. I think it's more than a touchdown win. And, again, I think that we get them early. I think the defense is playing well. Secondary played really, really well last week.
Johnny
that's
Doc,
not something we said all year.
Johnny Doc, if you did have your preference, let's look forward. Say the Eagles are able to beat the Seattle Seahawks. You just mentioned that Minnesota-New Orleans game 3-3 right now. So the Vikings holding in, staying in early. If they're able to win that game, the Eagles would go to Green Bay. Otherwise, they would go to San Francisco. Do you have a preference as Philly's biggest fan?
Yeah, I'd rather go to Green Bay. I'd rather
and you know what's
going to
happen. Green Bay in January, there's not going to be rain. There might be snow. We may have a snow game.
Well, if someone has major financial implications on this game, I would like to see the New Orleans Saints win this thing.
No, nobody cares.
Well, no,
I'm just saying.
But there's a difference between John. There's a difference between Aaron Rodgers versus Jimmy Garoppolo. Maybe San Francisco has a bigger talent, but Lambeau Field is a tougher place.
And
to
the Eagles
play.
already won there.
The Eagles already won there once.
I think the Eagles match up with San Francisco beautifully. I love our chances against San Francisco.
It's interesting.
I absolutely love our chances.
Of course, you got to beat Seattle to get there.
Yeah, I hate to look ahead.
We're looking ahead, and I don't like that.
We're taking it one playoff game at a time.
Johnny Doc, let me bring you in on this. Russell Wilson, I think this is his 14th playoff game versus number 1 for Carson Wentz. Obviously would have been there in 2017 had he not gotten injured. But what do you think of that experience differential at this level?
Look, I think Wentz plays way above his years. I think that he's had 3 or 4 really good weeks in a row. I mean, his numbers are amazing in the fourth quarter. And I just think he's going to play really well today. And I think that the team's rallying around him, much like they did Foles. And I think he wants to win this game as much as he's wanted to win any other game in his whole life. I just think that this is the one that, you start to realize he's doing it with, Greg Ward and Scott and them guys. And so I think it's a big game, and I think he's going to do great. And I think we're going to beat Russell Wilson and the Seahawks.
Now, to me, I agree with you. I mean, we've seen Carson. We know the injuries on the line. We know the cast of characters of the island of misfit toys. And we've seen Carson adapt with these guys. But the bottom line is, once again, this will be a big test for the Eagles secondary because they're going to try to beat those guys deep. He's going to throw the ball, and if he was inaccurate, and the wind will be a factor today too. So some of these balls that are not bullets are going to be dangling up there, in the turnover situation. That's the key to me. If the Eagles can force a couple turnovers and and Carson Wentz doesn't get strip sacked and lose the football, I think the Eagles have a damn good chance of winning this.
Look, I agree, Tony, and I think the key is to hold it on the ball. I think we're going to create our turnovers. Look, Metcalf's a big receiver, Lockett, they can fly. I just think that our guys are playing well, and I just think that I can't see them beating us on the ground. Beast mode ain't going to kill us, okay? And I think that they'll put the ball on the ground. I think he'll put the ball on the ground. Marshawn Lynch, how about I give you? He fumbles at least twice today.
Well, if they get to the 1 yard line, I think Pete Carroll, after all of these attempts before, will actually have
a play in mind.
You'll have beast mode run 4 consecutive plays if they get to the 1 yard line today. They are not going to try to throw the football down there.
Could you imagine if they didn't?
Could you imagine
if they didn't do
that?
They
did it last week in San Francisco. At home
well,
against San Francisco.
They got to delay a game in that game.
And it killed them.
Yeah. And it backed them up. And then there was a bad referee miss. There's a bad referee call in this game. Referees are always a part of it.
Exactly right. Now, who's the ref today? We want to make sure.
Sean Smith is a referee. Good guy. He was the one who addressed us in the media on the points of emphasis and the rule changes before the season. But, I mean, these crews just stink. They just called a phantom holding call. And
it was not phantom. It was not phantom. He turned them around.
No, they just showed the replay. It was bad.
No, that was a sack.
No. They showed, well, people can't
Luigi's letting his wallet do the talking here. This is about objective football breakdown. This isn't about rooting for a team here. We're impartial arbiters of football knowledge.
Yeah, Sean Smith will be the referee in the Eagles game. Point is, you're going to have to overcome something. You saw it in Buffalo. You had a potential play that could have been called delay a game. They didn't throw the flag. They had that block in the back for Cody Ford come on. I mean, why are you calling that at that particular time? So you have to overcome these things, especially in close games. And that's going to be an issue, I think, in Eagles-Seattle.
All right, John, it's that time. You've crunched the numbers. You've watched the Penn Sports String Band last night over in Jersey. You've got it all figured out. The Mummers Parade is over. The String Band Show of Shows will come up at Atlantic City Convention Hall like it used to back in the days. And the guys are already out there working, doing a lot of gigs. So what's going to happen today? I need the final score. No one has been more locked in to final scores on this team than you in the entire city of Philadelphia. And that includes the Philly Godfather. That's pretty, that's high praise.
Impressive company right there.
Exactly right.
Yeah. Another game right around 30. Birds 30. Seattle 17.
30-17. I'm writing it down in ink because I hate using pencils.
I'm about to push it down and put some money on this thing again.
So Johnny Doc is in 30-17. The wind, I'm telling you, you've been out there, John. It's really windy. So the kicking games could be a factor today. The field goal attempts, they're going to have to hold probably on the kickoffs. So the wind is going to be a factor today. I mean, it's a beautiful day. There's no rain in the forecast, but the wind, the real feel, as John McMullen gave you a live report from his home this morning in New Jersey. What was the real field temperature out there?
The real feel was cold.
It's really effing cold out there.
And my dog Isabella was not doing her business quickly.
You got an Italian dog?
Yeah.
Isabella, that's an Italian name.
It is.
Sounds like a pizza joint on Pasco
Right away,
Avenue.
as soon as you said Italian, your hands just started moving.
I know, you got to do it. Isabella. Who names their dog Isabella?
Well, I adopted her. She was already named.
Oh, okay.
I adopted a dog. I'd change the name.
Yeah, Luigi changed it.
I do not do that because the dog knows its name.
It took me 2 days to change my dog's name.
My dog is smarter than your dog, evidently. Do not insult my dog. You can insult me.
No, maybe I'm smarter than you because I was able to do it in 2 days.
No.
Can you believe we're arguing about
my
dogs
dog
here, John?
Is smarter than me and you.
That's probably true. That's probably true, John.
We're all in a
She's
good
home.
mood.
We're here.
Well, the one thing that's certain here, we're all in a good mood. It's the new year. It's January 5th. It's a beautiful Sunday. It's a little windy, but it's winter.
It is winter.
And it's not really that bad except for the real field temperature and the wind chill. Other than that, it's a beautiful day for football. Johnny, always great to talk to you, man. Let's get this baby rolling. How many more wins to the bowl?
3.
3 wins away from the ball in Miami. We're going to the ball.
We were talking about the win, Tony.
They got 2 wins in them.
Yeah, let's say goodbye to John. What's that, John?
I think definitely got 2 wins left in them. They're going to win today, and then they're going to win next week.
Wait a minute. Now all of a sudden you're becoming a pessimist? We're going to the bowl guy.
Listen, I told you we're winning. Listen, I'm going to the bowl, but I'm telling you we're winning next week, no matter if we go to Green Bay or San Fran. Okay? And the Prep's going to score 50 in their first game next year, and Penn State might win the national title next year. How's that? I'm feeling good about myself.
That's a lot of projection right there.
I'll see you guys.
All right, Happy New Year. Johnny Doc laying it down once again. 30-17, he says. No one has been more accurate the entire National Football League campaign.
And speaking of accuracy, it also goes along with what you're saying about the win, Tony.
2 minutes.
Is that a team like Seattle with Russell Wilson, they love to throw the ball deep. However, he puts a lot of air underneath that ball.
Yep.
So depending on which way you go in that stadium, it's going to be very difficult for them to go up, go up the field vertically through the passing.
Now, do we know if the wind's blowing left to right or right to left?
I believe
or
it's east to west or north-south.
North-south. John, now you know, because, obviously
I
the great
believe
thing,
it's a westerly wind.
The great thing about Merrill Reese, when you listen to it on the radio, it's the theater of the mind. You don't see the game. And when he says, the Eagles, the wind is blowing, the Eagles are kicking from right to left, they're defending the left end, and then they have to bring in the wind factor.
I have an update on the wind.
Oh, let's go to our licensed meteorologist and unlicensed sports talk host, Luigi Curto, with a weather update, ladies and gentlemen.
Winds gusting at 19 miles per hour, Tony, coming in from the west-northwest.
West-northwest.
I told you.
Wasn't that a movie?
West.
No.
Go west, young man.
I don't care about the north.
No, we want the Seattle Seahawks to go back west later on tonight when they jump on that big bird and fly.
Which is different from what you say to me. Go to hell, young man.
Now we have Joe Krause with a special announcement, ladies and gentlemen.
And a special Kangol.
And a special Kangol hat today.
Hey, Tone, all season long at the Landmark Americana on Monday night.
Wait, your mic's not on. Hang on.
It's on.
I don't hear him.
It's on. He's on.
Okay, I'm sorry. Now go ahead, John.
All season long, of course, on Monday nights over at the Landmark. Every Eagles game day, of course, down here at Toll Man Joe's. And then on Thursday nights out at Screwballs. So it's time. I've started to assemble the 2019-2020 thank you from Tony Bruno and the Countdown to Kickoff show. So over the next 2.5 weeks, we're going to begin qualifying on air and online. Some of the prizes, Tony, that we'll give away in January to the qualifiers that I have already obtained. A 72-inch flat screen for the big game.
Wow. Dude! 72 inches.
72-inch, Tone. How about this? In honor of the Super Bowl MVP, a trip to Disney World, hotel accommodations and airfare, and then 4 VIP seats to the 2020 Philadelphia Phillies home opener.
All right.
Wow.
Are
you kidding? Are you serious?
I quit, and I'm entering the win right now. I quit. Right.
So that is just the beginning of what we are going to have. Again, all month long, we're going to register, and then more details to follow. And proving, Tony Bruno, as we get ready to go to the break, that there's no other show in the Delaware Valley
on
Earth that creates these memories.
Now on this Disney trip, I can chaperone them and get and make sure they get all the stuff.
We're coming right on all the rides.
We're coming right back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just so excited right now. I don't know where to go. We're going to come back and sort this all out.
You can't just drop something like that, Joe, in the first hour and expect us to.
We are live at Toll Man Joe's in South Philly.
Jacob Media Production.
In the shadows of Lincoln Financial Field. Come on down, free to park. Everybody's getting ready for kickoff at 4:40 live on 97.3 ESPN.
Hour number 1 of the Eagles game day countdown to kickoff.
I thought he said 2 minutes. I didn't hear him say go to break. Gotcha.
Joe, that's incredible, Joe. That's incredible. Steve Merrill's coming up here. Is it 150? I don't even see. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, for whatever reason, Joe's mic wasn't coming through on Twitch very well. I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't hear him at all.
I couldn't hear him very at all.
Hey, Hunter, was Joe's mic loud or was he low too? Okay.
Jersey's Eagles Station.
So you can hear him on the air.
Playoff season. Get this.
No, Tony would not be able to drink halfway around Epcot. I don't think he could even make
Nobody
it past
can do
it.
it. Nobody can do it.
I don't know anybody that's actually done it. So for those of you who are watching on Twitch right now, this is family apparently that Tony didn't even know he had.
Get him.
Joe Krause has more hats than Blossom. Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
He said that last time he counted, he had over 2,000 Kangol hats. 2,000.
Tighten up.
Oh, what was I going to say? It was something about Twitch.
2,000.
Yeah, he has over 2,000. He said. Can you believe that? Like, where do you put them all?
He's got a Kangol hat room. Yes.
Shoot. I was going to say something to our Twitch followers, and now I totally forgot what it was. Tony, can you please order or get your order in?
For the end of the show?
Or if you want to...
No, I don't want to eat during the show.
Well, do you want your regular, the wings?
Yeah.
The 20 garlic?
Yeah.
Mild?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Why can't I find the stream?
It's on there. You
I'm telling
can't.
you, man, the fact they didn't score a touchdown, I think now you can see the Vikings are running the football. How did they not get any points, the Saints? Yes.
Hunter, do you have Steve?
Okay, I can't hear you. No, I don't mean that. I mean the music's too loud. So the music really.
But you can use Credit Karma to help
Can you turn that music down, Nick, please? The house, the music.
But it cannot solve the
No,
eternal
not there. Just
questions
the
surrounding
PA
human
in the
condition.
building.
Oh, come on. I need answers. But signing up is free. No credit card needed.
All right, go ahead. I'm
download
sorry.
the
Go
Credit
ahead.
Karma app now.
We have 10 seconds. I'm just going to play a pump-up video that NBC Sports Philly.
Do I have to run the whole thing, though? It's 40 seconds?
Yeah, I can pot it down during it.
Okay,
start to lower it after 15, 16 seconds.
How much time will we have with Steve Merrill?
Presented by Martin Law, the law firm for injured workers.
In sports, they tell you to act like you've been there before. But whoever came up with that nonsense hasn't been here before. Philadelphia, not just home to underdogs, home to the home underdogs. And this team
You are live.
And these fans wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, we got a pump-up video on NBC Sports Philly. We got to have a pump-up and a Get Ready and We Ready and all the other videos.
We Ready's coming.
That's coming up in the next
We
hour.
Ready's coming. Don't worry.
We Ready's coming.
It is coming. All of you waiting for We Ready. We not ready yet. We will be ready next hour.
We getting ready, all right?
A guy who's always ready is Steve Merrill from ProSportsInfo.com.
Yes, he is.
Crunching the numbers. This line has gone. It started at Eagle 1 point.
Crazy line.
It started out as the Eagles were favored as it opened in Vegas. Right. Then it immediately flipped to Seattle 1.5, and now apparently it's pick'em in many places. Let's go to Steve Merrill. Steve, what's the latest number here? And obviously a lot of Eagle money coming in on this Sunday.
Yeah, right now the Eagles are pretty much a 1-point favorite. There's some spots that still have pick'em, but there's several spots now that have made the Eagles a 1-point favorite. And, you know, for the most part, I think that's probably sharp money. If you look at the consensus sites, over 60% of the consensus at multiple sites I've looked at this week are on Seattle. I think nationwide, Seattle is the public play here, which makes a lot of sense. They've had the better season. You know, the novice bettor looks at it and sees a pick-em price. They take the better team in Seattle. But it does appear like the sharp money here near kickoff is coming in on the Eagles and made them a slight favorite.
And Luigi hasn't even put down his $500 bet yet to really push the number to 2.
There's a small parlay in there. Yeah, sharp as in like I can't afford to lose it that sharp. So I've dissected this game every way you can look at it, Steve.
Now, Steve, when you look at it, obviously, you know, there's a lot of ways to look at it. You could say momentum is on the Eagles' side. They've won 4 in a row, albeit bought against inferior teams. But Seattle's lost down the stretch. They were 10-2. They go to 11-5. They've lost 3 of their final 4 games, and they too are banged up. And so how do you see this breaking down? Because, you know, we can sit here and say, I think this is going to be this, or it's going to be windy. The turnovers obviously are always important in these games. Why would the Eagles be favored in your mind, just looking at this game talent-wise?
Well, you know, when I began 25 years ago as a professional handicapper in the mid-'90s, handicapping the NFL playoffs is quite different. In fact, one of the best angles was the contrarian approach. And if you had just taken a team like Seattle here off back-to-back losses against a back-to-back win team, it covered about 65, 70% of the time back in the day. That does not work anymore. Momentum has been a very big indicator in the positive direction of the last decade or so with this new format. You know, we saw a team like the Patriots who really struggled down the stretch. They struggled again last night. You know, Tennessee had been hot down the stretch. They won that game. So I do think the momentum favors the Eagles here. You know, 20 years ago, I would have said it's a tough spot because there are all those must-win games really wear you out just to make the playoffs, where Seattle's kind of been coasting. But it just doesn't work that way anymore. And I think one of the main reasons is because it's not a running-dominated league anymore. It's a precision, passing offensive league. and you want that time and you want that consistency heading into the playoffs. And it does appear like the Eagles have it right now more than the Seahawks.
Steve, you mentioned the running, though. Yeah, did things change at least a little bit in the postseason? You saw it yesterday with Derrick Henry and obviously Tennessee, and he was able to dominate. And then from Seattle's perspective, they've been built on the running game and lose Rashad Penny late, lose Chris Carson, even C.J. Prosise. The fact that they haven't been able to integrate Travis Homer in for a long time, Marshawn Lynch just back, how much of an effect does that have on it?
Well, I think the one big edge the Eagles have, if you look at it statistically, is actually run defense. They give up 4 yards a carry. Seattle gives up nearly 5 yards a carry this season. Seattle's also been weak, below average pass defense, below average defense overall. But the run defense is what really jumps out to me. So I think the Eagles are going to have to try to establish the run game here. Turnovers have also been the key for Seattle. They have not turned the ball much over this year, and that's why they've been probably a little bit better record-wise than they deserved at 10-2. I think that 11-5 mark is a little more indicative of the talent of that team.
Steve Merrill, ProSportsInfo.com. That's where he puts the information together and puts it out for you every single week and even every single day. Hey, Steve, thanks so much. Appreciate the time.
30 seconds.
Thanks, guys.
Now we got a barn burner going on down in the. If you took the over in this game, you're sweating a little bit.
Just wait. The second half's going to start.
Yeah, it's
20
early.
seconds.
It's New Orleans is finally starting to move the ball here a little bit.
Taysom Hill in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the
15.
They're running the football now, the Vikings, and they're keeping this game. They're keeping it on the field
10,
and not a lot of scoring.
9,
We're coming back. Big
8,
hour number 2,
7,
still ahead. Philly Godfather
6,
and more.
5,
live at Toll
4,
Man Joe's right
3,
here in South Philadelphia.
2,
Countdown
1.
to kickoff.
All guests appear on the Carson Burger Hotline, sponsored by the Wycombe.
Taysom Hill with a man open. And he makes the catch at the 3-yard line. And you know who that is? Michael Thomas. Who was that? That's
Boy, Xavier Rhodes is just terrible.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I didn't see it was. But I knew it was Taysom Hill who made the big bomb. Look at that. What a terrible move.
What a terrible. He's been
I agree.
so bad.
And that ball
all
was
year.
underthrown.
Oh, yeah.
Hunter, you there?
A decent corner, that is just.
Now give it to Latavius Murray 3 times. Boom,
Gil
boom, boom.
coming on in the opening. Gil coming on in the opening segment. Nick, the banner is not
Johnny,
even. The banner is dropped
Here it comes.
on your side.
Touchdown.
Yeah.
Touchdown. Alvin Uja Kamara.
That's one side, Nick. Hunter, just confirm coming out of the top of the hour with the We Ready.
Yes, we ready and Gil.
That should do it. Remember, the Saints get the ball to start the second half.
That's your game.
Watch Kamara here. They wasted no time.
There you go, Nick. That's good. Tighten down, Nick. Don't be afraid to tighten down.
No, you got to tighten up, as Archie Bell and Drell said.
Except
you don't tighten down.
Don't tighten it like Joe tightened it, because like nobody can undo it.
Yeah, we're going to
after you
need
do
like
it.
a 17-inch pipe wrench to take them off the way Joe tightens it up.
Yes.
Right?
It's like, dude.
Nick, that's why right there is a perfect example. The banner dropped.
Thank you.
Okay. Light turn.
One
banner,
day, John, you will get up and give me a
drops.
glass of water. One day.
One
It will
day.
happen. One day. It won't be today, but it'll happen one day.
Is Taysom Hill now the best utility player in the NFL?
Yes.
If
Without a shadow of a doubt.
If there was a utility player Hall of Fame wing, he's in.
He Don Beebe.
Yeah, Don Beebe didn't do as much as this guy does.
Actually, no, maybe your boy Steve Tasker might be in over Beebe.
Yeah, but Steve was mostly he was mostly a defensive player and a kick guy. But and I love Steve.
Special teams.
He caught a huge touchdown that big comeback.
No, he's a special teams
legend.
Icon.
Troy Brown.
Troy Brown with the Saints. I mean, with the Patriots.
Tone, you do have
Receiver,
Mike. You
defensive
do have
back.
Gil.
We have Mike Gill.
Yeah.
Live from the living room. Oh no, that's Sonny Hill.
That's Sonny Hill. The best of Sonny Hill is you could be talking about anything. He brings up Wilt.
Wilt Chamberlain
You could be
right
going
here. Yeah.
Sonny, what do you think about the fact that the Sixers and Embiid and everything are having a difficult time?
Wilt.
Yeah, but let me tell you about Wilt. All right. The thing is with Wilt, Sonny, I had nothing to talk about with Wilt Chamberlain. Yeah, but you don't understand. You didn't see Wilt play. We get it. We get it, Sonny. We get it.
In fact, I was just driving by Overbrook High School last week.
Oh, he says it all the time. I was just driving by Overbrook.
No, I did. I was driving by him. I said to Robin, Robin, you know what that is right there? That's Overbrook High School. That's where Wilt Chamberlain played.
That school's covered in asbestos.
And played basketball. And played basketball, too.
And he played the.
Isn't that where Will Smith also went to school?
No, he didn't go to Wake.
No.
I thought it was Overbrook.
No.
I don't know.
No, Will went to somewhere in West Philadelphia where he was born.
I think he was on the plateau. They built a special school for him to be homeschooled on the Belmont Plateau. So in the summertime, he can go out there and think it's fly, or with the girls.
Stop by for the summer.
No, that's a different song.
Oh,
That's LFO.
I know. You got to admit now, Hunter, that the between the break show is still equally entertaining on this program.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
If not even more.
Man, because we can venture
Robin
out.
is right. He did attend Overbrook.
By the way, Tone,
Will Smith, that's
Tone,
great
by the way,
Overbrook
your
knowledge.
relative.
Thank
Hold on, buddy.
All right, guys, here we go.
Here we go. Get ready.
Nick, that clock is off.
Don't forget about
You got to take care of
Gil
me, brother.
Tony Bruno.
All right, listen to the crowd.
Yeah, they've been waiting to see this.
Live on
playing We Ready after this, too, by the way.
ESPN and the mobile app.
Give goes to Peterson. He is stacked up for a loss.
From Tolman Joe's, 26 East Oregon Avenue in the heart of South Philly. Presented by IBEW Local 98. Powered by Martin Law and fueled by the Philadelphia Federal Credit Union.
He is hit. He stumbles. He's down. And the Eagles take over.
Now, it's Eagles game day and time for the Countdown to Kickoff show with Tony Bruno.
Oh.
You are live.
Who do you mean we?
Don't say a word.
Come on. Oh, yeah.
And there it is, Joe's happy moment. There it is.
Oh, man. I can't believe how ready I am right now. Are you ready, John McMullen?
Ready for what?
Luigi Curto, are you ready right now?
I'm yoked, bro.
Are you yoked?
I'm yoked, bro.
Are you lit?
I'm ready for this.
Are you woke?
I'm ready for this.
Are you ready in the back of Toll Man Joe's? You ready? I want to hear from the people way in the back.
Well, they're over there getting their bets in, Tony. Give them a few minutes. Give them a few minutes.
Oh, here we go. I should have brought my guy in who we had on the show a couple of years ago. Remember the guy with the woman from Minnesota when they played the Vikings here?
Go back.
Go back.
We put that kid on the map.
Go back. Shaking his head violently.
We were the only podcast to reach out to him early on.
I know. We brought him in. We made him a star.
Remember when his buddies came in?
Yeah.
The whole room was stoned. The entire room was stoned.
No, it was a mix. They were stoned and drunk. You know, they didn't just limit it to one type of hype, you know what I'm talking about.
Well, the cloud surrounded him as he was coming
Exactly. Now, by the way, we got to get to the line because a man who now has surpassed Congress on the number of days he's been off at the end of the year, 17 days, and now he's finally back. He's ready.
He's in session.
He's down in Cape May looking at the beach at the ocean. He probably did the polar bear plunge on New Year's Day. The great Mike Gill, of course, the man you hear every single day with Johnny Mack and the whole crew on 97.3 ESPN. Mike, Happy New Year, brother.
Tony, what's up, boys? Happy New Year. I'm actually close to Cape May as we're speaking right now. I don't live in Cape May, but I'm close.
Well, I know. Everybody goes. I mean, on the way to Cape May, you know what happens. The skies turn blue, and then the Eagles play a playoff game.
I love Cape May. I usually go down to Ocean City. I get the bike. I ride it out to Cape May, ride it back. It's nice, man.
Get some diamonds on the beach.
Cape
give
May
them
diamonds. Absolutely, man.
Get some Cape May diamonds. Pretend that they're real and give it to some chick that you just met at a bar, and then you forget about her the next week because she doesn't know who you are. All right, Mike. Are you ready? Because, you know, we ready.
It's like in my life.
Are you ready?
You know, I am. I'm one of the few, Tony, that after the Dolphins game, I think McMullen was with me on this, I didn't panic because they lost to the Dolphins. I don't really care who you lose to week in and week out. I figured that they would be in this position based on the schedule, but a little faulty because my thought was that they would be getting healthier and that would help them. It was exactly the opposite. They kept losing guys, and that ended up helping them. So while I'm not surprised that they got to this spot. They did it a little unconventionally. I got a question, though, for you guys because I don't know the answer to this. Name a team that has beaten the Eagles in Philly twice in the same season. Has that ever happened?
That's a good question. I haven't looked it up.
That's a good question. Yeah,
you got all the books there.
It would have to be in the playoffs, so you would have to think, and obviously, certainly in this era, it hasn't happened for a long time. But I don't know if that's necessarily something you can hang your hat on, because it's very rare that somebody comes into and play it twice. You've seen it a number of times, 3 games in a season. It's had to have happened with Dallas, obviously, at some point if you go back to the Staubach years.
Yep.
To me, Mike, the thing you have to look at is both of these teams are banged up, but the Eagles have had time to adjust to all their changes, especially at the playmaker position.
Yep.
Where the Seahawks have had only really a week. And give them credit, they played pretty well against San Francisco.
And they should have won that game.
Yes, they should have.
At home, where they don't win, but they win on the road, which is another anomaly.
I thought the first game that Michael Kendricks was a big factor. I mean, he did a great job in that game. Now, Ertz ended up with 12 catches for 91 yards, but he was the only guy they had. But I thought he was a factor. He's not playing today. We had John Clayton on during the week, and he talked about Clowney and how he is just not the same player at all, but he's just going to keep trying to go because without him, they got nothing. And with him, they got basically nothing either because he's just been a shell of himself. So this is a team that really doesn't have a pass rush. And the last time they were here, the Eagles, as you mentioned, John, I mean, Ward was playing for the first time. They just really had not really had any chance to play with each other. Here we are 5 weeks later, and we talk about it all the time in the league, how different things look in 5-week increments in the NFL. This is a completely different Eagles team, and they scored 9 points in that game, but their defense was excellent. They just couldn't move the ball. That should be different this time around, but I don't know that the defense is going to be different this time around. I think their defense should be right in the same range. They should keep them in this game.
We're talking with the great Mike Gill, not Johnny Gill or anybody else, or Taysom Hill, no relation to him. But, Mike,
no,
you're seeing what's happening now in this earlier game. Now, the Saints are up 10-3, but we're seeing the ability of the Vikings to run the football to keep the Saints off the field. They had to throw a bomb with Taysom Hill down to the 2, and then they gave it to Kamara, who just walked in. And so the ability to run the football, you know, I don't think beast mode is going to be used a lot. They got to tackle this guy. But if they're going to use him in the red zone or inside the 3, they're going to go to him. But can the damage be done by the Seattle running game, which really has been what's made them the team that they are this era without Legion of Boom and without all the other stuff?
Right. And yesterday, I mean, Henry ran all over, obviously, the Patriots yesterday. So I'm wondering if teams are saying, look, let's get the ball on the ground and do it that way. Pete Carroll this week said he didn't know what to expect from beast mode last week. What, they had 12 carries?
Yes.
He said, but this week, he's a full go. They're going to use him as if he's been there all season long. So I don't know. Do they give him the ball 20, 25 times, and how does that affect? The Eagles are the best rushing defense in the playoffs right now, so that could play into the hands. The big concern I would have is if I'm Seattle, does the play action work? And if it does, we know McMullen and I talk about this all the time. You go one-on-one in the corners, and Lockett could beat you. That's where they could really get you. They just keep taking chances down the field and hope that they get 1 or 2 big plays and that the Eagles offense doesn't have enough explosion to keep up with you. That could be the big factor in the game is the deep ball. If they just keep taking those shots down the field and hope that they can get 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah, the guy scares me, Mike, is actually the guy on the outside looking in of DK Metcalf and Lockett, and that's DJ Moore.
Oh, yeah.
He scares me a little bit more than anybody else right now because of the fact
that
–
Luigi,
go ahead.
Metcalf last time they played, if you remember, Metcalf was open. He just kept dropping the football.
Yeah,
they had the wide open play in the end zone where Russell Wilson just overthrew. I think it was Hollister in the back of the end zone.
No, but that was also many weeks ago. And Metcalf, as a rookie, has emerged very, very much since then. So he's going to warrant a lot more attention than he did several weeks ago.
I don't know if you guys have heard this. The Eagles could have drafted DK Metcalf.
Yeah, we have heard that before. We've heard that before on this program and on every single program on 97.3 ESPN.
We should call Terry McLaurin and see if the Eagles should have drafted him, too. He's watching the game with the rest of us.
Or Darius Slayton or any other guys.
Yes.
But again.
Was A.J. Brown available, by the way?
Yes, he was.
To pick?
Yes, he was.
That guy's pretty darn good.
Wait a minute. Save that for when they lose again next year. You know, the Eagles are in the playoffs. Now you got to be Debbie Downer, Luigi, and then
No. I'm not reminding you anything. You did that.
I did that.
No, you guys did that. I've done nothing. I'm sitting here just drinking my water. I'm talking to Mike.
Yeah, that's not Luigi's fault.
All right, Mike. Now, obviously, pass protection. You mentioned what Vaitai is going to be out there, and Pryor's going to be out there.
Pryor's going to play
and those
right
guys
guard.
played well. And Pryor, by the way, stepped in and has played pretty well in a tough spot.
Played well last week.
Plays well, and then sometimes, but he's not going to have Clowney at full strength going after him today. Is that going to be a big factor? You mentioned John Clayton, my buddy in Seattle, knows what's going on. He's there every day. But the whole Clowney situation, not being 100%, Vaitai and Pryor are going to be on that side of the field. Do they move him around to try, or do they keep him on that side, the Seahawks, to try to go after the weakest part of the Eagles' offensive line?
Well, I think the indication John gave was that they're going to kind of keep him on one side just because he's so banged up, and he hasn't been very effective either. But you talk about the line, Tony. I think the Eagles, look, the Seahawks are most likely going to be without their center, left guard, and left tackle. I think the Eagles line looks like an all-pro situation compared to that. And the last time they sacked Russell Wilson 6 times. So I think the Eagles have got to feel a lot better about their line situation as opposed to what Seattle goes. If they get to Wilson 6 times, again, this time around, and able to turn the football over, that's the difference in the game. Last time the Eagles had, 5 turnovers in the game?
Yep.
If that happens again, you're probably going to lose. But if you play the same I think the story is if you can play the same defense as you played or in that game, in that realm where you keep them in the 17 to 20-point range, you should walk out of this game with a win. And Pete Carroll in rematches against coaches he's faced does not fare very well. Doug Peterson will come up with something today to outfox Pete Carroll. That's the difference.
And the last time, 200 yards passing for Russell Wilson, a touchdown and an interception, which the Eagles really didn't take advantage of. And he only had 15 total yards running with the ball. So if they can keep him to 15 yards when he's scrambling out there, that's a major advantage for the Eagles, because then their secondary will at least try to be close to guys downfield.
He is their running game right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mike,
No
you mentioned
go ahead. Go ahead,
you
John.
mentioned Vaitai and Pryor. I think it's ironic. Remember that first game against Seattle?
2 minutes.
That was the Brandon Brooks social anxiety game when he had that anxiety. And that was because Lane Johnson was out, partially that and his big contract. So that was the first. Vaitai had to come in at right guard, then kick out the right tackle. Matt Pryor had to play at right guard. And here we are in the playoffs, that same setup, but at least the Eagles have gotten ready to prepare for it. So that is another advantage, similar to the playmaker situation.
Yeah, and Pryor, I thought, has done a pretty good job in the 2 games that he's had to come in to kind of take that spot at right guard. Both times, I think he's done a good job. The bigger problem has been the tackle spot on the right side with Vaitai. But when he gets a chance to practice all week, he's seemingly a better, when he's more prepared. They tried to use Dillard in that spot. They had to pull him, and they put Vaitai in, and he hasn't, he didn't do very well. But when he has the full week to kind of prepare, he typically feels better. Look, to me, the way Wentz is playing right now, he's in sync with these guys. He's got something going. I think the game plan has been simplified a lot. And when you get to the playoffs, it seems that you get a little trick play here and there and all that kind of stuff. I'm interested to see what kind of things Doug Peterson dials up here, or if he just simplifies it and says, you know what, this version of Wentz that I got has got us here. Let's just let him make a couple plays, hand the ball off. And look, you talk about it all year, John. Their defense at home is a different animal, and that, again, should keep them in this game in the 17 to 20 range. And I'm going to tell you, they should win this game. I think it's close, like 22-17.
22-17. And, of course, what's more important to note, as Brent Musburger used to say before you could talk about gambling on sports, that's a big, that number means something to so many people. Very important.
What do you mean, you people?
Exactly.
What do you mean, you people?
The great Mike Gill, ladies and gentlemen. He is tanning. He's got the beach chair out, his Chase Lounge. He's got the cooler. He's got the wings. He's all ready for football action this afternoon.
Is it one of those Yeti coolers like Carson gave to all?
Yeah, he got one. He actually, one of his offensive linemen
dragged it around.
Sold it to Mike down there at the Jersey Shore.
It's a quality item, Clark.
It is a quality item. Those things are expensive.
I hear you.
Mike, good to talk to you, brother. We'll talk to you soon, man. Take care.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year. The great Mike Gill holding down the fort in South Jersey. Really South Jersey.
Good stuff there with Mike.
Very South. The man knows his stuff.
3rd and goal here, Tony, for the Minnesota Vikings as we lead out of the break here.
Yes.
Hand off to Dalvin Cook.
He's taking
Is he
it
gonna
outside.
Get to the corner? No, he's not. Yes.
What a great stick right there.
Shut it down, baby.
And Kiko Alonso, by the way, there's been a Kiko Alonso sighting. It's usually when he gets hurt, and then you say, "Oh, Kiko Alonso's on that team now."
Kiko Alonso's still alive?
He's actually on the Saints, and he just went out of the game. But a big play, and Kirk Cousins threw a horrible overthrow into the end zone.
I mean,
corner
Kirk,
of the
and that's the thing, and everybody says Kirk Cousins, Minnesota, not accurate early in this game. It's going to hurt the Bucs.
And they're close to halftime, 3.5 minutes left. We got lots more still ahead. You know what's coming up, right? Philly Godfather still ahead. That and more. We are live here at Toll Man Joe's in South Philly as the Vikings settle for a field goal here. 10-3, just under 3 minutes left in the half. And did he shank it?
He missed
it. He got it in. He got it in.
Just barely snuck in.
10-6. We're coming back live at Toll Man Joe's in South Philly. By the way, Tony Luke's across the street is closed for renovations, so even more reason to come across here, eat, drink, and be merry.
Tony, I know we got to get the break, but Joe Krause changed the Kangol. He's in the green and black now.
Oh, wow, that's important. That's major. We will explore this further live here on 97.3 ESPN.
It's good odds.
Hour number 2.
He's like Batman. He's like Batman. He's shapeshifter over there.
No, he's like Cher. He has so many wardrobe changes during the course of a show.
I don't know what Mike Gill was doing, but he was obviously not sitting still.
No, he was outside, I think, in the wind.
Oh, okay.
Nobody makes more mic noise than Luigi Curto, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, Tony, did you read that I don't know, I wasn't looking at the...
That's right, John, you got to get over there. Thanks,
I wasn't looking at the screen, but I guess a cable cam fell?
I didn't see it, sweetie. I'm locked in here.
Like on at the Saints game, one of the cables, the camera fell down.
I didn't see it.
All right, Luigi's switching spots.
He went from the wet spot to John's spot here.
Yep. God, I am starving. I think I need
up all night to get lucky.
I didn't know Tony Luke's was closed.
Is it really?
Why?
Well,
for renovation?
For renovation.
Oh.
Season's over. They probably figured, hey, let's do it now when the football. And nobody's showing up. Well, nobody cares about the Sixers or Flyers right now.
Nick, can you take this out of here? It's John's water.
Water to play in? Please.
D. Conrad Vegas says, yes, Miss Robin. So I guess the camera did fall down.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm only glancing up occasionally.
Yeah.
Did it fall down? Nick just bumped it.
No, the one at the stadium.
The Saints. The big cable cam
overhead
fell down.
Oh! Come on. I needs it, Tony. I needs it.
Play Action Reel says the lights are going to go out in the Superdome next.
Yeah, pretty much.
Where the hell's Michael Thomas been in this game? He's throwing to all these other guys.
I don't know, man.
What's up, bro? Hunter.
This is kind of like a...
Wait a minute, Robin. Hunter's talking to me.
Sorry.
No, that's not that. Turn the freaking music. That's what's loud.
Okay, Tony, you heard what he said? No, you got an Eagles chance from 2018. Okay. On the way back, on a road game, coming back to some music resources
to help. We also had a caller come in and fix Gill for saying there was a time where we lost 2 home games to the same team.
Yeah, I didn't look it up, so I don't know. He didn't say he knew for a fact. He just said, has there been?
1981 against the New York Giants, apparently, from Frank from Marlton. He called in to tell us.
So the Eagles lost twice? Well, yeah, because they play the Giants twice.
Well, they were both home games because I guess we played them in the playoffs. I'm not researching him. He's just calling to tell us we're wrong.
But it cannot solve the eternal question.
He's going for it all, Tony.
Yeah, but he's got double coverage. Did Michael Thomas catch it? No, it was intercepted.
Just download the
Why would he throw it into double coverage to Michael Thomas? And
10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Give them the ball at midfield with 2 minutes left.
Get to Tolman Joe's and register for your authentic Tony Bruno Eagles game jersey. Presented by Martin Law, the law firm for injured workers.
4 minutes off that clock.
1, 2, 3.
Live at Toll Man Joe's, keeping an eye on the early game, the third game of the weekend, the NFC wild card opener down in the Superdome, where the camera fell off the the overhead camera that you see the shots from behind, right over. So now they're just doing the side shots and the low shots.
And the game's on a 10-minute delay, by the way.
It is?
Yep. It's been delayed 10 minutes. Yep.
Why has it been delayed 10 minutes?
You're watching a 10-minute delay feed.
What do you mean?
What difference does that make? If a camera falls, there's still other cameras that work. You just don't go with the other camera.
Being heard that the game is.
Where are you getting this information from?
From people that are texting me the information.
How do those people know?
Listeners of the show, they're texting me the information.
How do they know that the game is on a 10-minute delay?
That's what I'm getting from them.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't accept people that. I accept legitimate sources, not FanDuel, not all these other places that you go and get information from.
It was friends of the program.
Again, I go, but how do they know the game's on a delay?
I don't know because
so
that's what they're being told.
10 to 6. It's not 10 to 6 right now.
It's 10 to 6. I don't know. It could be. It could be 13 to 10. It could be 17-6. It could be 10-6 still. Who knows?
Why would we, who have the same feed that everybody else in the country is getting, have a feed that's 10 minutes
not
behind
just you?
schedule?
Everyone has a 10-minute delay feed.
So then, what we know right now is what we see. We don't know about what's going on.
Never mind. I'm just going to eat the baby.
You better eat the baby.
I'm just going to eat the baby.
I'm going to eat the wings later after the show.
The best wings on the planet, by the way. I get them
Absolutely.
every single week here. They're phenomenal. I can't leave without getting them.
I can't either. I'm like jonesing for them right now.
No, Joe got me hooked. He mentioned them to me one time, and next thing you know, it's like, dude,
I don't leave home without them. Now, let's get it back to the game here. Bottom line is it's 10 to 6 as we know it, and Drew Brees going deep to everybody except Michael Thomas, it seems. And he just threw a terrible underthrown ball into double coverage, picked off by the Vikings, who are as we know at this moment, according to sources, unnamed sources who don't have a live TV feed from the Superdome. It is 10 to 6. Vikings get the ball with over 2 minutes left, about 2 minutes left at midfield, when they should be dominating this game. And give the Vikings credit. The Saints are keeping them in this game, and I don't understand the play calls. I love going deep, and I love the fact that he's throwing some deep balls.
Sure.
But how about running the football? You're going to get the ball back in the second half.
Exactly.
To start the second half, you're up 4. You were up 7. And this isn't about point spreads or gambling picks.
No, it's
I'm talking about
the game.
just basic, fundamental, what the hell is going on out there. Because give the Vikings credit. They're not rolling over. They're not quitting on this game. And you keep them in. They got the turnover early, and they couldn't score a touchdown. They settled for a field goal. To me, you score a touchdown there, you immediately put them on their heels. The fact that they only held them to a field goal and then got a field goal and have stayed in this game and kept it close means that as much as I like taking chances and trying to bury these cockroaches, as we say, you can't keep an opponent in the game, not because you're a 7-point favorite, but because you have to win this at home. And the Saints now have the Vikings have the ball inside the 45-yard line, and now they're down to the 20 to Thielen at 23-yard line.
I'm confused. Is the game actually ahead of what we're watching?
That's
right
what
now
that's what I heard. That's what I heard.
So do we have? Let's go to a live scoreboard somewhere. Don't we have a website we can go to see what the actual score is from the game, as if we're seeing it on a delay?
I don't know.
And does it really matter? It's not even halftime.
I don't know. I just destroyed the person texting me the information, saying, "Don't ever text me ever again. We're no longer friends." I was just blocked.
Is the game on the monitors right now at Tom and Joe's? Is this actually old news? Is this already happened?
That's
or
what
are we watching it in real time?
Now, is this a legitimate source or one of your buddies?
No, legitimate source.
How legitimate is it?
You know them too.
Well, again, I don't like to do that. I did that with
I'm
the
not going to
Mummers
reel my
Parade.
sources, Tony, on air. Okay.
Twitch is 5 minutes faster than so.
No.
This is breaking news. The people watching us on Twitch are not getting an actual live feed. It's on a delay. People's brains are on a delay today because it's Sunday. It's a long weekend coming off the New Year. People are still wobbling after the New Year's Day festivities right here. You and I were driving around here trying to get back to my house.
Oh, my goodness
on
gracious,
New
with
Year's
the Mummers.
Day.
It was outrageous, Tony.
Well, every street was closed.
Beach Babe 1204 on Twitch is saying that yes, indeed, what we are seeing on the TV is delayed from actual time.
Okay.
Boom. Can I please just get a...
Let me give you
I'm sorry. No, I'm just saying I'm sorry, Luigi.
I don't understand that. I don't understand how that
Because
is.
the camera fell. It threw everything out of whack. But they got the camera off. They kept playing the game, apparently. So we're playing catch-up.
That's my only question, because I have to try to understand. Listen, I'll take information if it's legit. And again, I'm not saying people aren't legit who are your friends or my friends. I don't normally run with something because somebody texted me. With all due respect to my friends out there, all I see is what I know. And if the camera falls down in the woods and nobody sees it, why would you stop the game? Did it hit somebody? Did they have to bring out the stretcher?
Listen,
Did they have to bring out the John Deere?
I'm in agreement with you. But the live score also gives you 10-6 right now with exactly what's going on.
So we're watching. Nothing has really changed.
Exactly. Nothing's
Are we in a time warp continuum?
Is this real right now or not?
None of this is real, Joe. Nothing you see here is real. Nothing you see, except for all the people here.
It's all CGI, except for the people at Told Man Joe's. So anyway,
Tony, like you
we
said,
are living in an alternate universe.
No reason for that ball to be thrown by Drew Brees. Your defense is playing well, even though you're only up 10-6, but they're playing fantastic out there. It's the offense that's hurting them right now.
And
you don't need to make that throw.
Minute 17, as we see it, 10-6, Vikings with the ball, and the Saints are keeping them in the game. And give the Vikings defense credit; they played great. The Vikings are able to run the ball on this Saints defense.
They've bended but not broken.
Yeah, no, I mean both teams are playing decent defense. But what the absolute thing that the Minnesota Vikings needed to stay in this game is to be able to run the football.
Yes.
And that's what they've done today. They've had a couple of big gashing runs, and their defense has played okay. But to me, I think right now, if you're a Viking fan, you got to feel good about the way your team is playing.
Absolutely. Still in this game.
I mean, you know, Kirk Cousins is one accurate throw away in the end zone from being a tie game instead of it being 10-6. But he's down inside the 20 now. And there's a minute 17 to go at this particular time as he gets it down to the 6 now. First and goal. Adam Thielen, who had a big fumble early on the first series for the Vikings, turned it over, but the defense held Minnesota to a field goal. And now it's, Minnesota could be going in at the half with a lead in a game where they absolutely positively could have been on their heels early, but you got to give them credit. It's all about we pick a team and we like them. And we think that this team's going to win easily because they're at home. And then we saw what happened yesterday. Patriots were a 5-point favorite. And guess what? Tennessee was in the right place at the right time.
Yep.
You got the right coach who knows the Patriots. You got a guy who, to me, is the coach of the year.
Vrabel?
Absolutely.
I have no doubt about it.
Absolutely. Mike Vrabel benched a quarterback that another overthrow now in the back of the end zone by Kirk Cousins
to Kyle Rudolph.
Kyle Rudolph. And so these are the types of throws you have to make if you're Kirk Cousins and you've got this monkey on your back of I got to get a big win.
These are the type of throws you got to make if you're Carson Wentz today, Tony.
Of course.
Big time.
But Carson has made those throws in the last few weeks.
I know, and he needs to continue to play this way because
he
has taken this team, put him on his back, and has played the best football of his entire career.
And the difference here is they're indoors, so there's no wind. The ball's not being blown around. A bad throw is a bad throw.
Yeah, but they're in New Orleans. There's shot glasses all over the place.
Oh, yeah, that happens. And then the camera falls down, and then what happens? Touchdown, Minnesota Vikings, Dalvin Cook right up the middle.
Dang it.
And all of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen,
we got a ball game.
We've got a 12-10 lead pending the extra point as the Minnesota Vikings.
Are you sure with the time? Yeah, we're sure.
I believe what I just saw actually occurred, whether it occurred 10 minutes ago, 10 minutes from now, or ever.
Don't worry, I'm losing money in real time. Don't worry, it's fine. It's fine.
Ladies,
outrage.
What you're seeing could be the Twilight Zone. As long as there's no monster on the wing of the airplane outside of New Orleans, and as long as Captain Kirk doesn't have to break the window and go out and shoot that thing on the wing. Did you watch the Twilight Zone marathon over the holidays?
No, I live it, Tony, 24/7.
That's my favorite episode, of course. The one where William Shatner is the airplane passenger sitting by the window and he keeps seeing this monster. It looks like a guy in a really bad suit, but you're talking about the 60s when there was no special effects.
Is he shooting outside the window, though?
No, he keeps seeing this monster on the wings, and then nobody else sees him, so everybody thinks he's crazy. And then the monster starts like ripping up the wing, and then he realizes he's got to stop this guy or this plane's going to go down. So then he finally breaks the window and doesn't get sucked out into space.
Where's the cabin pressure?
I don't know. I don't think they had cabin pressure back then.
Outrage.
And not especially they didn't have CGI. So he finally shoots the monster, and the monster falls off the wing, and the plane lands safely, and then they arrest him. But then when they look at the wing, they realize that something actually did rip the plane's wing.
I'm going to go home and watch this episode, Tony. I have to.
It's the greatest episode ever. I recommend it. If the Eagles lose, you'll be watching the Twilight Zone marathon for the rest of the year.
Yeah. On Ion TV, because they're going to cut my cable.
No, this was on Sci-Fi, right? Sci-Fi, they did instead of 24 hours of a Christmas song. Wait a minute, now all of a sudden,
let's go.
All of a sudden now, with 12 seconds to go, was that the kick return?
Yeah, it was Smith. Little kick return.
So they may get themselves in the field goal range to tie this. And remember, they get the ball back that was from the 1 yard line, the kick, and then he found the seam and he took it up the middle and basically kicked it outside to the right and got all the way to midfield. So we'll see what they're going to do with the ball now.
I'd love to see the Eagles get a big punt return today too, Tony. That would be helpful.
Absolutely.
Let's get to break.
We're going to go to break now because coming up is the Philly Godfather, ladies and gentlemen. Crunching numbers, ready to fire once again. And he will do it here exclusively. Coming up next, live at Tollman Joe's and on twitch.tv, Tony Bruno Show on Countdown to Kickoff.
You're listening to the Eagles Game Day
Did he catch
Countdown
that?
to Kickoff Show, presented by IBEW
They have
Local
two timeouts
98.
left.
John Doherty, business manager.
This is Mays.
We have the Godfather, correct, Tony?
Harry
Yes.
Mays
Okay, I'll give him a
John
call.
Shander on
Let's see, is it a catch?
97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app.
Coming up, a Monday edition of the Mays and 8
No,
Show
good.
will be live at
That's a catch.
Parks
That's a
Casino
catch.
with a lot to talk about, Harry.
Dez didn't catch it.
Hands are under it.
On
That's
the
a catch.
Eagles
Season, or will we be getting ready for the 49ers?
Kick the field goal,
Mays and
tie
8
this game.
97.3 ESPN
I just
and
need
the
to win the game.
97.3 ESPN app.
Yeah. Will Lutz
This
make
football
it?
playoff season, get to Screwball Sports Bar and Grill in King of Prussia. Voted one of the 10 best
My
sports
name is-
bars
Got a
in
couple Seahawks
Pennsylvania.
fans in the house.
Catch all
Where?
the postseason action, plus the entire lineup of
go
bowl
over there
games at the
and kick
bar in
their ass.
Montgomery
We got a
County,
Cowboy
where everybody
fan now,
knows your
too.
name.
Oh,
Check
that's
out
the
the
Seattle-
memorabilia line
that's the
of
Seattle
basketball,
Mariners.
the 10 TVs, a game room, a
And
large
that pick is
pub
up and the
grub
kick
menu,
is
and a
no
dozen
good.
Get the daily
No
specials on
good.
Facebook and find your way to Screwball Sports
How do
Bar
you
and
miss that
Grill
kick after you
in
get a
King of
spark?
Prussia.
Of a huge
Screwballs,
kickoff
where
return
sports
with
people
24
go
seconds to
to watch the game.
He shanked it.
Hey, Birds
He
fans,
shanked it.
looking to score a BMW that fits
Sliced
your
it, I should
lifestyle
say.
and budget? Get to
Look at the
BMW
slice.
of Atlantic City. Tackle hard-hitting savings on their entire
Wow.
starting lineup of your favorite
I'm telling you,
certified
man, they're
premium
keeping this team
BMWs.
in
the ball half,
3 and 5
Yeah, I
got
know,
2
but
minutes,
they-
5 and
they're
more.
keeping this
Only
team
at
game
BMW of
in the
Atlantic
game.
City, just off the Parkway, next to the Home Depot in Egg Harbor Township, and online at BMWAtlanticCity.com. For a dealership experience you'll remember, get to BMW of Atlantic City, closer than you think. Find exceptional offers through BMW Financial
Did
Services.
Robin take my phone?
Hi, Saver. Walgreens here. We like the way you save. Take coffee.
She's got it.
You know it
She
doesn't
has
have
it.
to
No
cost
Where
$4
is she?
a cup.
I don't
so you
know.
make your own.
Well, that's the
And
question. I
copays
mean, I
on
need my
Medicare
phone.
Part D.
I don't know
you
where she
save
is.
up to
I have no idea,
$5
buddy.
and get 100 balance rewards points on each
I need my
prescription.
phone, not
when
anybody
Walgreens
else's
is your
phone.
preferred
What do you gotta
pharmacy.
show?
Save smartly
I wanted
on
to show
Med
you
D.
something on my
Walgreens,
phone, which I
trusted
don't have.
since 1901. Copay savings on
And I'm
Tier
not
1
gonna get
generic
up and go
drugs
look at
available
that.
through select plans that include Walgreens as a preferred pharmacy.
No,
Points
no,
cannot be
I
earned in
haven't
Arkansas,
seen
New
this
Jersey, or
for
New York.
20 years.
Complete details at walgreens.com/balance.
If you're one of the millions of Americans who owes back taxes,
With two
if you
Cs.
get nervous when the mail comes because you might get a letter from the IRS, then you've heard.
With
Their
two Cs,
enforcement
baby.
agents are cracking down this year and can garnish
name
your
is-
paycheck, levy your bank accounts, even your
I still
home
haven't
or
found the Twitch
business
stream
could
on
be
here,
at risk
believe it or
over unpaid taxes.
That's
It's
Twitter.
all true, but it's also true
Robin, do you
there's a
have
way
my
out.
phone?
It's called the Fresh Start Initiative,
May I have
an
it,
important
please?
government program for tax
Why did
debt
you take my
assistance.
phone?
The award-winning experts at Optima Tax Relief will fight to get you the best deal possible, protecting your paycheck and your
Hunter,
assets from IRS collection.
Yes, we
But
do have
don't
him. He's on
delay,
hold.
because the IRS is tacking on interest
30
and hefty
seconds.
penalties every single day. So don't wait until it's too late. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-936-9033. 800-936-9033.
That was so funny, that whole entire conversation.
800-936-9033. We have to eat the bait. We have to eat the bait.
Did we ever resolve? Was
10
there a
seconds.
delay?
OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You're listening to the Eagles
What's that,
Game
Joe?
Day
Did we ever-
Countdown to
did we ever
Kickoff Show.
resolve
Get to
the
Tolman
question?
Joe's
Was there
and
an
register
actual-
for
Yes,
your
there was.
authentic Tony Bruno
Here we go.
Eagles game jersey. Presented by Martin Law, the law firm for injured workers.
Get money, yo.
You are live.
What we got, Bob? Give you a call back in a little bit.
Where? South.
East Coast, Philadelphia.
East Coast, baby. Philadelphia.
It's where I
Born
spent
and
most of my
raised.
days. Chilling out, maxing,
Man
relaxing.
who's chilling out all the time. The Philly Godfather. And I got up this morning and I did some research. Philly Godfather, as we all do when we make these great picks of fire. The Philadelphia Eagles, if you're scoring at home, are now the only team on the eastern seaboard of the United States still in the playoffs at this hour.
Is that a fact?
That is correct. Now, Tennessee's on the east, sort of east coast, but not the eastern seaboard. Eastern seaboard is all the cities. Boston, out.
Right.
New York, both teams not in it, right? Eagles in it. Washington's out.
Green Bay.
Carolina's out. And I'm talking the Eastern Seaboard. You know where the Atlantic Ocean is?
I got you.
Yeah, okay. So no Florida teams, right? Florida's on the Eastern Seaboard. No Carolina team. No Washington team. No New England Patriot team. Boston. No New York team. Philadelphia, representing the entire Eastern Seaboard. You're not getting that kind of information anywhere else, because I know my geography.
That makes him a live dog, Tony.
That makes him a live dog. That may give him maybe an extra point right there. Philly Godfather, how about that breakdown?
I love it, man. I love it. But you know what I'm tired of, Tony?
What?
I'm tired of hearing all these media pundits say the Eagles ain't got a shot.
I hate those people.
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of hearing Russell Wilson, how he's owned us. He's 4-0 against us. I'm tired about hearing how he threw for 4,100 yards this year. I'm tired of hearing over 80% of all tickets punched so far into the United States and offshore have been on the Seahawks. But you know what I'm not tired of hearing?
There it is, baby.
That's the money machine right there, baby.
Oh, man.
Not in our house, Tony. Not in our house.
And those aren't singles that are being spread out there. They're not single dollar bills, baby.
Well, I don't know. There might be some establishments go to the Godfather for change. You never know.
No, man. There's nothing smaller than a Finsky in there, baby.
Listen, you got to keep something around for the delivery guy, right, Godfather?
Listen, when you're from Philly, all you carry is Benjamin Franklin in your pockets. That's it.
That's right. I go to his grave very often there on Arch Street, and I go there and thank Ben. I thank Ben for all of the gifts he's given us and all of the swinger parties he used to go to in England back in the day when everybody thought he was just a saint. All right, now let's get it down to the business. Now, one of the games, obviously, a lot of people jumped all over the Saints today before we get to this Eagles game. And now you saw that the Saints allowed them to stay in the game, get an early turnover, and then Dalvin Cook has 16 carries for 84 yards and a touchdown. And that's the one thing this Viking team needed to stay in this game, and they got it.
Yeah, but if you look at the box score, Minnesota's really winning the game. If it wasn't for that long pass by Drew Brees down to the goal line, I mean, this game could be very, very lopsided.
Yep.
Minnesota's been down at the goal line a couple times, kicked some field goals when they should have been scoring touchdowns. I mean, you can't keep the Saints around. You're in New Orleans. So the second half could be a different story. But Minnesota really outplayed them big time in the first half.
No, I totally agree with you. And as I said, you know, you got a chance to put your foot on their throat early. And again, 7-0 doesn't decide a game, but it maybe takes some of the will out of the oh man, it's going to be a long day for us, stealing fumbles and they can't capitalize, and you hold them to a field goal.
And speaking of Will, you had Will Lutz miss that field goal, Tony, right down to the half, which was a huge play by Smith, who gave him that huge kickoff return.
Yep.
Got him in the field goal range with the pass to Michael Thomas. You could have tied the game right there, put the momentum right back onto your side of the field. You get the ball at halftime. What's he do? Whoops. Shanks it left.
And by the way, that one important only for Luigi because he had the Saints in the halftime
line. No, I didn't have the Saints for the first half.
What was it, 4 points? What was the halftime line, Philly Godfather?
The halftime line of the Saints?
Yeah, what was
it? I think it was 4.5.
Yeah,
I think it was 4.5.
Yeah, that's right. So if you had the Vikings in the first half under, in the first half points, you're cashing them right now. All right, let's get to the Eagles because this line has gone around. The Eagles immediately opened as -1 after last weekend's game. And then everybody jumped on the Seahawks who went up to – did it ever get to 2? Because I know it was 1.5 Seahawks, and now it's flipped the other way again, right?
Yeah, it got up to as high as 2. I saw a couple of 2.5s with some local guys, and that's when I jumped in. I took the 2.5 on the Eagles. I took +2. I took +1. I took the money line. I buried this game on the Eagles. If you remember the first time we played, man, we outplayed that team. If it wasn't for those 5 turnovers, we win that game. They needed a trick play to score a touchdown. We won the time of possession battle. And this time around, we're a lot healthier. Our offense is a lot better. It's grooving. I think the Eagles win this game. I think they win it easily.
You know what? I'm agreeing with you, not because I'm a homer, because I picked against the Eagles. And unlike a lot of people, when the Dolphins, I mean, listen, people are throwing that text at me, my tweet, when they lost that Dolphins game, when I said, that's it, game over, die, Eagles, die, they're done, 5-7. Listen, there was no reason for any of us, not because I'm a bandwagon guy, to think that this team was going to run off from 5-7 and go 9-7.
And Dallas completely fall off.
Exactly. So give them credit, man. I know they beat bad teams, but this isn't college football where you can bring an Appalachian State, and then run up the score on them.
Yeah, and Seattle's won a lot of 50-50 games. They've won, they've been the beneficiary of a lot of close wins this year in games that could have went either way. And their offensive lineman is out. What's his name? Lupata today. So that's going to be huge for us. We're going to be getting in Russell Wilson. We sacked him 6 times last time. I expect the same momentum, the same fierce intensity by that defensive line today. And we're going to be on them. I like the Eagles here. I took them plus the points. I took them on the money line. I also bet the under in the first half because they're expecting some wins down there.
Now, let me give you some more next-level knowledge. Despite the fact that they are obviously a good team at 11-5, they have outscored their opponents by 7 total points all year. They have 2 overtime wins, 2 one-point wins, and 3 double-digit losses.
Wow.
So they play close games. And the bottom line is, Eagles stay in this game just like the Vikings are, and the Eagles should. If the Eagles jump out early, I think Seattle could be in trouble in this game.
I agree with you 100%. And we got to come out with some intensity with that home field advantage. And like we said, in our house, we have the best rush defense in the NFL. They're missing some running backs. Their offensive lineman is out. The win is going to benefit us more than it's going to hurt us because, you know, Russell Wilson's deep play ability, if we get 18 to 20 mile per hour winds with 30 mile per hour wind gusts, it's going to eliminate a lot of that scrambling around and throwing it deep for Russell Wilson. So it's huge. The more the winds pick up, the more I love the Eagles to beat this team.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier, Philly Godfather, the fact that Russell Wilson does like to throw the ball deep, but he puts a lot of air under that ball when he does do that. So you can't do that with the winds gusting 18, 20 miles per hour. You just can't.
No, absolutely not.
But the other thing, too, to take both teams have to play in it, obviously, but the wind will affect the field goal game. And if this becomes a field goal game, that's where it could be decided. I mean, not that both kickers are good in this game. Seattle's kicker's good, the Eagles' kicker's good, but the wind could be the big determining factor if it comes down to who makes the big kick, whether it's early in the game or late in the game.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think our defensive line is going to run right through their offensive line, cause major havoc for Russell Wilson. And I could see a double-digit victory for the Eagles. I know the game's a pick 'em right now, but I love the Birds. I love our run defense. I love that the winds are picking up. I love the way our offensive play is playing. It's just a perfect scenario, man. The moons have aligned, and hopefully Minnesota can beat the Saints, and we go to Green Bay, and we take them out, and then we play San Fran in the championship.
Godfather's
now Luigi's mad, because he picked the Saints to bury the 7.5, and I did too. It's not over yet. I don't care who the Eagles play next. I want them to win. I don't care who they're playing. There's a scenario, though, if you take Minnesota and Minnesota keeps winning, that the Eagles would play Minnesota here in an NFC championship game because they're the higher seed.
Oh, wow.
Do you realize that? The Eagles could have a home game in the NFC championship game if everything falls into place because the Eagles are a 4 seed and the Vikings are a 6 seed. How about that?
Well, that would mean I take a bath today, Tony. if that happens.
Let's project. Eagles, Vikings, NFC Championship game right back here later in January. What's the line, Philly Godfather?
Wow. Eagles, Minnesota back here. I would have to say the game's a pick 'em. The game's a pick 'em.
Exactly. And then we'll get our little buddy out there to get into that woman's face and say, "Go Birds!"
Yeah, we call Paul Allen back there in Minnesota and let him give him a piece of my mind after what he did to me in the Super Bowl.
Exactly right. So, Philly Godfather, are you firing? You're not apprehensive, right? This is a man the battleships, load the missiles in the tube.
Load the cannons.
Load those cannons and fire the 50-millimeter guns. This is lock it in, so to speak. Stone cold, guaranteed, lead pipe lock.
Well, there's no guaranteed locks, but I unloaded on this game. I manipulated the market. I moved that line to 2.5 so I could come back and take the 3 to take the better money line price on the Eagles. And I buried this game, just so you know.
Only Luigi has unloaded more than the Philly Godfather, but he's been.
I'm actually going on right now. I'm literally loading up right now to fire this thing. I'm pushing the winnings. I'm pushing all the winnings from last week and whatever's left in the kitty. So
put it all in. Just push it all out into the middle of the table. Push it all out. Push it real good too.
No, I'm with the Godfather on this.
You all in? I'm all in. I'm going to get a double reverse mortgage, and I'm going to take it out of my house at halftime. I'm going to call Rocket Mortgage, and they're going to make a loan instantly. And then I'm going to take it, and I'm going to push it all in.
Yeah, I had a reverse mortgage. The only problem was I lost both ends of it. That's the Godfather got that joke.
Thank you. I'll be here all week, and I will try the veal, although I'm more of a wing guy here at Toll Man Joe's. But everything they have is great. The man's taking our chairs away. How are we going to be? No, I'm just kidding.
How are we going to continue? How are we going to go on, Tony?
Ladies and gentlemen, what about over-unders today? That's one of those tricky games because of the wind conditions and stuff. Do you expect high scoring, low scoring?
Nah, I went under 22.5 and 23 in the first half of the game. That's how I bet the total. I also bet under 1.5 touchdown passes by Russell Wilson. I bet no touchdowns by Homer, rushing TDs by Homer, and that's about it.
Now, there's a Marshawn Lynch line, because obviously if they get down inside the 5, especially at the 1, they're going to feed him. And if imagine Pete Carroll again after the Super Bowl bad decision, after last weekend's bad decision at the goal line, where obviously they got to delay a game and then had to take him off the field and kick a field goal, and they went back to the 5 and had to throw. Imagine if that happens again, but this time they run Marshawn Lynch 4 times, and the Eagles go back to the old games of Jim Johnson against the Cowboys when they kept trying to score with Emmitt Smith, and the Eagles stacked them up 4 times at first and goal from the 1. You remember that, don't you, Philly Godfather?
Absolutely. And Marshawn Lynch ain't getting in today. He's not getting in today, Tom.
He is not getting in today.
I'll tell you what, if they get within on the goal line, Marshawn Lynch is going to run up there, take a snap himself. He's not even going to leave it up to chance. He's going to get it right under center.
Oh, man, I love football in January, man. I love it. 3rd straight year, all these doubters and people are haters. The Eagles are one of 4 teams that are actually in the playoffs for 3 consecutive seasons.
Incredible.
So you can talk about ugly wins, bad wins, big wins, good wins, uptown wins, downtown wins, crosstown wins, road wins, home wins, any kind of wins. It doesn't matter. You just win. You play
to win
the game. And I hope that somebody can quote me on that.
Well, Philly Godfather, thank you for your vote of confidence. I just locked myself into the Eagles' victory today.
Just keep firing. Keep firing. Unload.
Let's go, Bird!
Beautiful, man. Thank you, brother. We'll see you soon. Philly Godfather, it's locked and loaded. You know who else is locked and loaded?
Joe Krause?
Nick.
Oh, he's always loaded.
And he doesn't even have a cocktail yet. Well, he has. Okay.
Yeah,
he's just hiding it better.
Had.
He's just hiding it better.
Yeah, he's hiding it for sure.
We're coming right back. Much more still ahead. We're getting close. Actually, we're coming to the final countdown. It goes right at 3 o'clock. Merrill Reese will join us, and he'll take over from here, right here on 97.3 ESPN. You don't even have to change the channel.
Tone, answer this quickly. Is this live right now, or is this still on delay?
I think they've caught up.
Yeah.
Is it live or is it Memorex?
They did have a halftime show, and they had Up With People just cut it shorter so that they can get back to the game.
All I know is the Saints better start marching in. That's all I know.
All right, anyway, we're coming back, putting on the big finishing touches and keep you up to date on this. It's good to have only one game to concentrate on, and the Eagles will wrap up.
I'm like
the
a
weekend.
rabbit. I'm all over the place.
The Eagles, the entire world would be watching the Eagles game coming up because there ain't anything else on except maybe some crappy NBA game or college football bowl game. Are they over? Anyway, I don't care.
Thank you.
We're coming up next, live here at Toll Man Joe's, The Big Finish on Countdown to Kickoff on 97.3 ESPN and on twitch.tv/Tony Bruno Show.
That's my Tinder handle, The Big Finish.
Yo.
Hour number 2 of the Eagles Game Day Countdown to Kickoff show is sponsored by the Philadelphia Federal Credit Union. Philly's home is our home. Go to pfcu.com.
This is the radio home for Eagles playoff football.
What do you have
Later
coming
today,
back?
the fourth
We have the Fly Eagles Fly fight song
Oh, yeah,
and the
Tony's
Heartbreak
gonna sing
will be
that.
out.
We'll get everybody in the crowd singing that. All right.
Can we walk back there with a wireless and just hold it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it'll be better. You can hear them better.
Yeah.
Because we don't get all the way.
Nick, make sure. Nick. Show's ending. Stay here. No. I want to go back. I want to get everybody singing the fight song back there with the wireless microphone. All right. I want you on.
I hear you.
Do you want the music
I want you to
play with them, or do you want me to play the music and then we have the playoffs through
the big game on Sunday.
No, let's bring it back.
You'll always know it
bring
when
it
you
back
get there,
to me,
and
then this way we can set it up and say, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time, instead of just coming out with it cold.
Season.
Because I want to make sure we get the people won't immediately
know.
Right. They won't know immediately.
Okay, so do you want me to just come back with the song and then we'll do this fight song?
Yes.
Okay, I'll just come back with a random song then.
Which song?
Do you have one that you want me to play?
No, I'll come back with whatever you want to play. Play some NFL.
Eagles Fly fight song is what I'm saying.
No, we're gonna. Tony's gonna call for the fight song. We're gonna set the table.
I'm gonna come back with just a random.
NFL films, music. The Eagles game's on NBC, right?
Yeah, Al Michaels is on the call.
Right. So we'll play Football Night in America, the NBC, or no, whatever the NBC is. Do you have it there?
Yeah, I'll Google it right now.
I have it in my machine, I think.
And Hims makes it extra affordable. You pay just $30 for a month's supply.
I have it in my
now,
machine.
Get your first online doctor's visit totally free.
I have it right here.
Okay, good.
Do you want to play or do you want me to?
No, you play it. If you have it there, I have it in the machine too.
Okay, just to confirm.
No awkward face-to-face conversations to get your prescription.
We're back live. We're back live. Tony's on set. It's the last segment. Chatter. Everything else going on. And then Tony, you're going to give everybody in the building an introduction. Nick, are you hearing this, please? An introduction for the Eagle fight song.
And you're going to be back there with
I'll
the
go back there with the wireless mic, all right? You're going to be telling everybody in the building, and Nick, as Tony's telling them, everybody's going to be able to hear him.
Okay.
Are you sure? Seriously, Nick, I want to make sure. People are going to be able to hear. Okay.
When I was in the bathroom, I could hear the show.
Okay.
So I know that they have it on the house speakers. I don't know how loud it is back there.
Yeah, but the point is, we got to let them know that we're doing it.
Yes.
If we just come out and start singing the fight song, they won't join us
they
until like 10 seconds in. I haven't been able to find the Twitch stream all day.
Here we go.
Presented by Martin Law, the law firm for injured workers.
You are live.
Oh, it won't be long now. Let's see. It's 10 minutes to 3. And then 4:40 will be an hour and 40 plus an hour and 50 minutes away from kickoff. Right down the road here in South Philadelphia.
Which is just less than 2 hours.
That's less than 2 hours away. They will be kicking it off. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth will slide in with the call on NBC. And, of course, Merrill Reese, Mike Quick, and the whole gang live at Lincoln Financial Field. And you'll hear that game right here on 97.3 ESPN, so you don't have to go anywhere.
No, you're right.
Because as soon as we're done here, we kick it to Merrill and Mike for the official Eagles pregame show. This is the pregame show, also heard on the Eagles Radio Network.
Yes. Well done, Tony. Well done.
Now, I want to get this crowd ready because I see there's a guy with a Seattle Mariners jacket on in here. Seattle Mariners jacket?
And there's also 2 Seattle Seahawks fans in the back.
I
see them back there.
I see them back there. I got my eye on
I see them back there.
I'm not going to go back there and give them a bum rush and throw them out of there because we love.
No, we love everybody here.
We're not animals here.
Plus the hat's pretty cool. I like the hat.
Yeah, and I used to love Jim Zorn and those guys.
Rick Meyer.
No, that's too. Jim Zorn. Love those. I used
Largent.
to love the Steve Largent. I used to love the Seahawk helmets. They were cool back in the day. Now they're the mortal enemy.
That's right.
They must go down. And they must go down hard, as Al Davis used to say. So as everybody I want everybody's attention right now. I don't ask for much, but I know I love you. I want everybody to get ready right now. I want you to put your hands in the air like you don't care, and let's crank it up. Hunter Brody back in the studio. Everybody for the fight song. Can everybody hear me? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Nick's ready.
Nick's always ready. Hunter, hit it, baby. All right. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Are they ready?
On the road to victory. Wait a minute, cut it?
This is group participation time. You know that, right?
Are we cutting it?
Tell Hunter to start it all over. And where is Nick? I need the audio brought up. Where is Nick?
He's out there getting another drink. I mean, the show's only got 5 minutes to go.
There is insanity in the control room.
There really
today.
is.
Hunter, if you can hear me, I want to get that tone. I want to get that started again. And I think we need to have everybody in Tollman Joe's stand up. We got to
stand up right now. This is it. There's do or die. There's no tomorrow.
No tomorrow.
We'll have to wait till next September. Don't you people realize the magnitude of this?
This could be the last time.
As Nick Foles once said when he was the MVP of the Pro Bowl.
How's everyone doing? Let's make some noise. Come on.
Come on. Hit it again, Hunter. Hit it again.
Hold on, Tony.
Wait, hold on.
Wait, cut the music. Cut the music. Cut the music. I'm going Rick Rude here. I'm going Rick Rude. Cut the music.
Wait a minute. Joe Krause is in the crowd. Joe, what do you want to do now?
Tell Hunter to hold on until I give you the cue, and then you cue Hunter. Okay.
All right, we got to. It's like a. Yeah.
This game's gonna be over.
The hard break is gonna come on us at some point.
Yeah, we're gonna have a hard break. Let's get this.
I'm not worried about the hard break. All right.
Oh, he says go through the break.
All right, here we go. Tone, I'm going to give you the cue. We got a nice crew up here. We're going to blow it out and send this show into the top of the hour.
You must be present to participate, though.
There you go.
All right, you ready? 3, 2, 1. Hunter, hit it. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Fly, Eagles, fly. Score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit 'em low, hit 'em high, and watch those Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Here we go. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
All right, good job from the group at Tollman Joe's. Nice job, Tony.
Yeah.
Nah, it was all right.
It's all right.
It was all right. It was all right. I give it a 7.3.
It's all right.
It's got a good beat. You can dance to it.
Remember, it would have been worse if it was a 1 o'clock start because these people would really be pretty much just waking up.
That was great stuff.
Yeah, it was great stuff. It was great stuff.
I want to thank everybody.
24-20 Philadelphia.
The great Joe Krause. Eagles win. I don't care what the score is. Just win the damn game. Win the damn game. Got to thank Hunter Brody back in the studio, holding it down as always. Nick, who holds it down sporadically. Miss Robin on the
30
Twitch
seconds.
Stream. Luigi Curto on the 1s and 2s and the 3s and 4s.
And the 5s and 6s.
The great John McMullen at the game, our NFL and Eagles insider.
20 seconds.
Joe Krause. Philly's biggest fan. The Philly Godfather. Steve Merrill.
15.
Mike Gill. Everybody who made this thing happen today. We hope we're back
10,
next week.
9,
the Eagles keep it
8,
going, baby. In the meantime,
7,
let's go Eagles.
6,
have a great day, everybody.
5,
and we'll see
4,
you soon on 97.3 ESPN.
2, 1.
All guests appear on the Carson Burger Hotline.
That was
sponsored by
phenomenal.
the Wycombe
Coach
Public
Mac,
House.
924.
Order
This
yours
just
now
in,
for the
Eagles game is
holidays.
over.
Find your way
2019
to
Eagles,
Wycombe,
that damn
PA.
There's nobody better than hitting the hard break than Tony.
I hit it hard, I hit it low, I hit it high.
Good stuff today, fellas. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Hunter. Great job, man. Uh-oh, Stephon Diggs just threw his helmet. That is not a good sign.
Tony, we want to remind everybody that's on Twitch that tomorrow at 1 p.m. we will be live again.
Yes, we will.
So,
wait, I also have breaking news, too. If I don't have jury duty tomorrow, I'll stop by the show.
Sweet.
See you there.
See y'all tomorrow,
Countdown to
1 p.m.
Kickoff Show
Eastern.
with Tony Bruno, a Jacob Media Sports presentation.
Hey, so are you the type of guy that